This is a WATE 6 on your side special report.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Ryan O'Donnell here. We do have some big-time breaking news to share with you this evening here. We are now being told, because of a fire near Gatlinburg, that downtown Gatlinburg is under mandatory evacuations. Now, we do have a couple of news crews that are on their way and some that are already there. Some in Gatlinburg right now. We're trying to get a hold of them to give you some pictures and some new information about that. We're also, Kristen Farley is right at the northern tip of the spur, which is right there at Pigeon Forge as you go into Gatlinburg. She's going to be joining us a little later by phone to give us an idea of what she is seeing there, because from what we are being told, that is as far as anybody can go in order to get into Gatlinburg. You're taking a live look here at our tower cam here in Gatlinburg. This is from the Matt, I forget the camera we're looking at.
From Ripley's Aquarium.
Ripley's Aquarium here. You can see some of the first responders there with their flashing lights. You see that haze, that is the smoke that is created here by the fire. And then, of course, the winds that we've been talking about all day long today have picked up so much. This is creating quite the mess up there in Gatlinburg. Now, I believe we have WATE 6 on your side anchor Kristen Farley on the phone. Kristen?
Yeah, Ryan, I am here right now, right along Pittman Center Road, and I can tell you that as soon as we got off of exit 407 along the interstate, you could immediately kind of taste and see that wall of smoke. I can tell you now, coming into Pittman Center, which is really the only way that we were told to come into Gatlinburg, there is now a steady line of traffic flowing out of the area, as you talked about, those mandatory evacuations. Just a few moments ago, we were talking to viewers on Facebook Live, and we were hearing a lot of stories. People were messaging us. Some of these have not been verified just of yet, but we're hearing about people who say there's no way in or out from where they live, and they're concerned. We also were hearing concerns about the Park Vista Hotel. We are calling to try to check on that as well. I can tell you from what we can see where we are right now, a steady line of traffic leaving the area, but when you got onto the main thoroughfares, they seemed virtually empty because so many of the main roads are shut down. We can kind of see an orange haze, if you will, even though it's dark, you can kind of see a little bit of haze up in the sky ahead of us. We have not seen any flames, but you can definitely, Ryan, as I said, taste and smell this. It's definitely in the air. My photographer, Eric, even already putting on his air mask, and we were inside a car. So that just gives you any idea of the situation here and the gravity of it. And as you said, so many areas, 7 different areas, mandatory evacuations at this point. We should be arriving, hopefully, closer to the actual scene and where the fire department is in just a matter of minutes to give you a better idea. And we did just send some video back to the station through email of officers flying down Pittman Center, everyone getting out of the way as they were heading toward the fire zone. And we've seen several fire trucks coming in from surrounding areas along the interstate and along the parkway as well, heading in this direction. So a very serious situation here. And as we get closer, we will keep you up to date.
Now, Kristen, what I'm looking at, I've seen a bunch of different pictures and videos on social media of the spur there. That is the 321 leading in and out of Gatlinburg from where you're at. I'm seeing fire lines coming all the way up to almost what appears to be a couple of feet from the roadway. Are you hearing anything from people there? In fact, here we've got some video we're going to try to go to. This is what people are seeing. This is just a picture, I'm told, what people are seeing as they're exiting Gatlinburg. Have you heard anything from anybody there about what they're seeing as they try to get out of there?
No, we are not quite to that area where you're talking about, Ryan, because we knew that the spur was closed as well as the bypass. We were taking back ways in. We spoke with officials earlier this evening with the fire department to find the safest way, if you will, in to this area. So we're kind of circling around where you're talking about right now.
I got you.
We should be coming up, again, like we were coming in through Pittman Center. We're about 0.8 of a mile from Birds Creek Road, if that gives people an idea. I did speak with some people who I know who live in the area, and they are not in the mandatory evacuation area, but could actually see flames beginning to pop up on the mountain across from where their home is. And it was kind of a heartbreaking conversation because they told me they never dreamed that they'd be sitting in their home and having to go, what do I want to take with me in case all of this is gone tomorrow?
Absolutely.
And they were leaving, and they were heading towards Knoxville. And so I just got off the phone with them not too long ago. I can tell you, as we are beginning to wind closer, you can see the orange glow in the sky over the ridge that we are near. Unfortunately, I don't really know exactly what this mountain or ridge is that we are near right now. But as we get closer, that glow, even in the darkness out here, is very evident. We're coming up right now on Birds Creek Road, South 416, getting ready to take a left, I believe, towards Pittman Center, but it looks like the road is completely blocked off at this point. So we'll let you know as we get a little bit closer and as we have more contact with people out here.
All right, Chris. And for those of you just joining us right now, we're breaking in to let you know that downtown Gatlinburg is under a mandatory evacuation right now because of the wildfires that we have been talking about, the Chimney 2 fire that we have been talking about, and the wind that has been blowing. I also want to pass along to you that fire officials have declared an immediate mandatory evacuation on Minot Park, Savage Gardens, East Foothills Road, Turkey Nest Road, Davenport, and Ski Mountain areas. There's also been, the Red Cross has also set up an evacuation center, although that was set up in Gatlinburg. So we're still waiting to confirm to see if maybe those plans have changed to the fact that maybe they are setting up a different evacuation center for everybody, of course, outside, maybe a little more north into Pigeon Forge and such. What you're taking a look at right now is this is from earlier today. You can see all the smoke, the roads that were already closed earlier this evening and such. You know, what I want to do now is we've been waiting for rain to come in here to really help out the situation with the firefighters. I want to go over to Chief Meteorologist Matt Hinken. If you don't mind sharing us kind of where do we stand here with that rain moving in, because it should be getting here probably within the next hour or two, shouldn't it?
Yeah, we're starting to see some activity down by Chattanooga and on the plateau. It's been raining already. I wanted to show you this just real quick, and I know this is going to be hard for you to read at home, but this is something that I've not quite remember ever seen in the Knoxville area or the Gatlinburg area. Immediate broadcast requested, evacuation immediate, and this is from the National Weather Service in Morristown. Sevier County Emergency Management Agency, 9:03 tonight. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Sevier County Emergency Management Agency. The city of Gatlinburg and nearby communities are being evacuated due to wildfires. Nobody is allowed into the city at this time. If you are currently in Gatlinburg or are able to evacuate, evacuate immediately and follow any instructions from emergency officials. If you are not instructed to evacuate, please stay off the roads. And this is officially from the emergency management folks at the National Weather Service in Sevier County and the Weather Service in Morristown transmitting that. Now, this may be hard for you to see. This is camera, if you can imagine where we are here. This is sitting at the Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies, looking down toward River Road and looking down toward the walkover, the bridge that goes over the little Pigeon River and over toward the hotel and No Way Jose's right there just across from the aquarium. You can barely see that because of all the smoke. Also notice here, notice the wind. You can see the trees. And the trees are just very, very, all day long they've been battered by the winds. We've had 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts up on tops of the mountains reported, and all that is pushing off to the north from the south. So this is all the smoke coming out of the park. That's what you see here at Ripley's Aquarium, the Smokies in Gatlinburg. That's where we're seeing this right now, this scene. We have seen up on the hills up here, at times you'll see the fire break out, break through the trees, and you'll be able to see that. Right now we're not seeing that, but at times we will. It's very hard to see what's going on in the dark, but I can definitely tell you that this is a docile scene. We have not seen anything like this in the Gatlinburg area. Just an hour ago, there were tons of cars right here, as you might expect, as they enjoy the festivities of the lights and everything. But right now, it looks like everybody's getting out as they're supposed to in the Gatlinburg area. Now, this is the wind gusts. We've had 21, 22-mile-an-hour wind gusts here at the lower elevations, and that includes Sevier County at the lower elevations. There's a 44-mile-an-hour wind gust, and we've had 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Greene County. So we've had a number of non-thunderstorm winds knocking down trees onto power lines and that sort of thing. So that's good. That's not a good scenario either. And those of you that are in the foothills of the Smokies, you've been added to the high wind warning. It was earlier for the higher elevations. Now it's for the foothills of the Smoky Mountains in pink here, where you could see gusts 35, 40, and even 50 miles an hour as this system comes on through. The good news is that the rain is approaching. So we are looking at, we'll show you the radar here in just a second. These are 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts still expected to increase throughout the evening. This is 9 o'clock tonight, so where we are, there's some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts over Gatlinburg, 57-mile-an-hour wind gust forecast at 11 o'clock tonight, and then 2 a.m. and then early tomorrow morning. Look how things settle down. It'll be nothing like it is right now. This system goes through, it rains, and it settles down for a little bit. So we're going to try to see if that holds true. This again right here now, this is not rain in Sevier County. This is actually the radar detecting the plume of smoke coming off these fires. So you can see these fire up here, Gatlinburg, that's pushing smoke all the way up to Smoky Stadium, Dandridge, Sevierville. This is smoke as well. That's not the actual rain we're talking about quite yet, but that's an indication that this fire has expanded and moved across and is starting to continue to strengthen. Now back to the west of us, we start to see rain moving along the plateau. So here comes some much needed rain. Now look at it into Anderson County now, and we're seeing the rain. We're seeing it into Roane County. We're seeing it into Loudoun County. So all this rain is going to be moving down across the valley and over toward fight that fire. It's almost like you want this rain to get here quick and get over to help the fires, and that's exactly what we're seeing here right now as you look at Storm Tracker 6. So that rain will expand and continue to move across the area over the next few hours, and there's plenty of rain to come. The problem we have now is that we have wind coming up from the south, and those winds are increasing, and we're starting to see the rain out on the west side of Knox County. We'll see that, and this whole big batch of rain is going to come through. Not saying that's going to put the fires out, but it will help dampen the atmosphere and dampen the ground and the leaves on the ground and the trees. We want this rain to get here as quick as possible. And the good news about this is there's very little lightning with this, so we're not so much concerned about starting forest fires with the additional rain that's coming through here. But there is a little bit of lightning. There'll be some gusty winds, and this will slide on through, and so we'll look forward to that rain coming in our direction. So that's the good news. We're going to have gusty winds for the next few hours, probably till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and then once that rain moves through and the high pressure builds in, we're going to be in much better shape. So Ryan, that's the way it stands right now. We're going to continue to monitor it, but we do expect rain in the Gatlinburg area before midnight. That's great news. As long as we'd like to have it to slow down, but it actually looks like it's speeding up. We'll take any rain we can have. Once the front goes through with this rain, then the winds settle down just a little bit tonight, and hopefully everything will be okay.
And I'll tell you what, Matt, I know that the wind blowing is really causing problems, but I wish it blew faster so that rain gets here sooner, just to really help out. So Kristen Farley is driving around trying to get a little closer into Gatlinburg there, and she was talking about the orange hue that she sees from the wildfire that's burning. This is probably what she is recognizing as she is heading up there, trying to get as close as she can to just kind of give us an idea of what is going on. Again, for those of you just joining us, we are under mandatory evacuations out of downtown Gatlinburg because of the wildfires that are burning there. Now, around the area, last we got from the Forestry Service, 14 different fires are burning around that whole Gatlinburg area. You can take a look at some of the shelters that are open for people to evacuate to. You got the LeConte Center, Pigeon Forge. We talked a little earlier about the Red Cross shelter that was set up in Gatlinburg for people to evacuate to. That I would only have not heard yet. We're still trying to confirm, but I would guess here that that is probably close since they're telling everybody to get out of Gatlinburg and go to these other shelters. So we got the Pigeon Forge Community Center, Liberty Baptist Church in Wares Valley, Iglesia Cristiana La Luz de Jesus is another one to go to. Again, we're also getting some video shared on social media as well. I'd like to bring up that Park Vista Hotel. This is really telling of how close this fire is getting to some of the structures. Now, I have seen reports on social media of people saying that structures are on fire and such. Of course, we're still trying to confirm this, but this video, look at this. This is the Park Vista Hotel. You know, you get to it when you go down Cherokee Orchard Road, and you see the flames, the smoke filling up that hotel.
That's
Oh, no,
catastrophic.
Matt, say again, please.
If this is truly the Park Vista Hotel, and it looks like it is from what I'm seeing because I've been inside it several times, that is the hotel sitting up on the hill over Gatlinburg. That's well known. It's a big circle hotel that sits right up on top of outside Gatlinburg as you look down into the city of Gatlinburg. As a matter of fact, we've got 2 of our cameras up on top of that hotel right now, and we're not able to get a signal out of them, which is concerning itself. Although when this was taken, it still got power to obviously in there.
Inside, and I'm being told that who that you see there must be Adam Palmero. He's the one that's providing us with that video. I even shared it on my Twitter account as well, if you want to go back and take a look at it when you would like. But incredible footage here of what we're getting out of this fire here. That firefighters from Knox County, Knoxville, of course. I'm seeing Seymour, the town of Seymour, city of Seymour as well. Of course, Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg all up there to help battle this, and I'm sure that they're trying to solicit as many other firefighters and such to come up and help, because again, mandatory evacuations there out of Gatlinburg. Last I saw, now again, things are going to change a little bit here with nighttime. Last I saw is about 500 acres is what's being reported burning. Now, again, with the winds blowing the way that they're blowing, more fires are popping up because they're just pulling those embers from the ground and spitting them out into the dry areas and sparking more fires as well. You know, Kristen Farley is driving through there. Maybe she, we were talking to her earlier on cell phone, but maybe she's in an area where we can't get a cell phone. Reporter Kelly Rinke is also up there. She is actually on the other side of the lines there. She is in Gatlinburg. But we're going to show you some more reported pictures from people from throughout the day here of what you can see, just the smoke coming up in Gatlinburg. Now, this is this afternoon here. This is really before the winds started to really pick up. And you can see how big it is just even then. Now, tonight's reported pictures, again, I've seen pictures where it's coming just within feet of the spur of the 321 as you enter and exit out of Gatlinburg. I'm trying to pull up some more stuff. You know, the big concern, of course, tonight, as we were talking about it with Matt and meteorologist Ken Weathers as well, is because of the winds. They're expecting to see winds there all the way up, the wind gusts of up to, what, 60, 70 miles per hour. And in the higher elevations.
But, you know, down here in Gatlinburg, we've already had confirmed 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. So it's not a sustained wind, and that's all ahead of this front. So once we can get this front to go through, it'll still be windy, but it's also going to be a scenario where we're going to see it improve quickly overnight into tomorrow morning. So got a feeling it's going to be a long night, that's for sure. This is where we're looking in front of Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies in Gatlinburg, and I just saw, and I've seen it several times tonight. I've seen fire. This is a hill right here. That's why you don't see any light right there. You don't see any electricity to any of the buildings that are up on this hill here, because I don't think there are that many hills. But I've seen at times you'll see flashes of fire come through right up here as the wind blows the fires and they consume another tree, and that's the sort of situation. But this is the main road through Gatlinburg. It looks definitely like a ghost town. So the winds continue to blow. This is our best indicator. Now there we go. See right here. See the fire. We cannot move this camera. It's a static camera, but you can see that fire starting to billow up just outside of the Gatlinburg area. That's starting to go up the hill toward the Park Vista Hotel. So without any visual reference there, you can see, now there you go, you can see it expanding just a little bit more. And that's the scary part of these things. You get these hot spots that go out ahead of the main fire that's in the park, and it's blowing embers, and as it blows embers, look at that, you can just watch that expand right there. Oh boy, look at this. This is a live picture now. We'll just let this take its course here, unfortunately. You can see the smoke and the fire really starting to expand right now over Gatlinburg. So if you imagine standing at the Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies in Gatlinburg and look up above the hill here, this is across from Pi Beta Phi Elementary School, and then you've got a number of condos that go up that road behind the main park, main road in Gatlinburg. This is the main road that you're used to going through in Gatlinburg, coming right through here, right below the circle here, but this is up on the hill outside that, behind the shops, behind the Pi Beta Phi Elementary School. Oh my goodness, look at it. Look at the fire expanding all the way over here now. So this is, boy, I really hate to see this. This is the Gatlinburg area, and this is the reason it's been, the area's been evacuated. You can see.
from this shot here. Pigeon Forge Fire Chief Tony Watson sending out an email blast any way that they can to get this out to people. 3 county school buses available for emergency transport and are being dispatched as needed to transport those who need to evacuate.
Did you see that?
I did.
It was that's exactly what we're talking about. It almost looked like a meteor going across there. That was one of those hot spots that gets blown, it gets caught up in the wind, and can be thrown down the road.
And it can be thrown wherever.
Yeah, it can be thrown.
All of a sudden, you got another one.
Boom! Look at this. Look how that's expanded just in the last little bit. Just with that gust of wind, you can see fire all the way down, almost a ring of fire right on outside Gatlinburg. So downtown Gatlinburg's right here behind me. We don't have a picture over there. There goes another one, a hot spot. You can see that. Those are just blowing embers that are being blown across the area. So. Wow, that's tough because the wind is the main cause. I mean, we've got a fire that's not wind aided is worth it bad enough, but with these wind gusts, there you can see it expanding right up here. The Park Vista Hotel is up out of the screen. It's not in this picture, so we can't get you an idea of that, but you can see the whole side of this hill on fire. And right outside, this is the hotel, the Mexican restaurant right there across from the aquarium, and then the Greystone Lodge, I believe it is, at the aquarium, right across from the Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. So there you have it. Wow. And what's tragic about this is going to be hard for the firefighters to get water up here, and you've got this just blowing right up top. This is different. I bet we're going to have a whole different look. This may be one of those evacuation buses that you're talking about, Ryan. At the bottom of your screen, you might be able to see there's a bus that just pulled up right behind there. So that may be one of those. There goes another bus, so that's probably evacuating some folks. Ooh,
well, you know, that's the tough thing too, Matt, is you've got a lot of people up there who may not have any kind of means of getting out of there, evacuating. So it's great that neighboring Pigeon Forge can come over and help out with some of their buses and get those who need to get out of there before I hate to say before it gets. Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
And if we can go to the teller up here real quick, I wanted to give you an update. Again, we showed you where the smoke plume was from this. Look at the leading edge of the rain just back towards the west here. So let's take a live look at this, and you can see how far away it is. I'm going to put a track on it here for you. We're looking at about an hour away from seeing some of this rainfall making its way over into the Gatlinburg area. So again, if it's moving at about 35 miles per hour on this current pace, some of the areas that could be impacted again by this much needed rainfall making its way towards Mount LeConte, that would be right around 1028, so Gatlinburg at 1029. So we're less than an hour away from the leading edge of the light rain working its way in, and then that is steadier rainfall back here in the yellow that you can see. So again, we've still got another hour at least before some of this steadier rainfall makes its way into the areas where we have the fires. And I don't think I've ever seen this pronounced, again, of a smoke plume showing up on radar. There's one here, there's one, that's the biggest one right there, that's the Gatlinburg one, and you can see a couple of other small ones as well, and it's really noticeable when you put it into motion because you can see how that smoke plume is kind of growing, pushing its way northward. Another one right there and another one right there. So that is all rain. This is actually smoke that the radar is picking up as it's slowly making its way, the rainfall, into the area. Pull back out and you can see the leading edge. There's actually some strong winds, unfortunately, with that rainfall making its way across the plateau right now into Putnam County, almost into Cumberland County. This is going to be moving through as well. It should weaken some in intensity as it makes its way to the east, but we need the rainfall, Ryan. We're about an hour away from it making its way into the Gatlinburg area. We'll continue to track this.
All right, Ken, thank you very much. Now we're going to send things out to WATE6 on your side anchor Kristen Farley. Kristen, I see the emergency lights behind you. Kind of give us an idea of what's going on that you're seeing.
Well, we are about as close as we are going to be able to get to this scene right now because of all of the evacuations, Ryan. We are at Pittman Center Road near Dunn's Market and Grill for people who are familiar with this area here. As you can see, there's police officers all around this vicinity. They are evacuating people and not letting anyone get any closer to Gatlinburg and the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. When we stopped to ask them, obviously all of them so very busy and under some very stressful circumstances here right now, when we asked to stop them how close we could go, they said, as far as you're standing, please turn around. They want everyone out of this area. We want to make sure that everyone knows the seriousness of this situation, and again, we can feel the winds picking up here. I can tell you we did feel a raindrop or two when we first got out of our car. are maybe a sign of hope. I don't know. At this point, I have to tell you, the tension pretty high here. Looking and talking with people in their cars and the officers here on the scene. Stressful situation. Occasionally, just over the mountain behind me, it's too dark for you to see right now, but occasionally you will see an orange puff or glow in the sky, presumably from the fires that are just beyond us here. But again, the smoke in the air, definitely thick. You can see it, you can taste it, and it's all hands on deck. Every emergency official that we have seen is out here frantically trying to get everyone to safety as soon as possible, as the situations here, as you guys have been telling our viewers, just seem to be getting worse. Again, we were doing Facebook Live not too long ago, hearing some scary stories out from the Gatlinburg area as well as in Pigeon Forge, and we're going to try to stay in touch with those viewers as well as what's going on out here, but it's really just a line of cars as far as you can see here in the area right now, Ryan.
All right, Kristen, thank you very much. Again, we're trying to get a bunch of different angles here and such. Hey, Matt, you have an idea of where Kristen is at.
Yeah, we can put this in perspective for you. So here's Dollywood. Here's Caton's. This is Caton's chapel in the area right here. This is 416. This is Pittman Center Road. So this is the road that Kristen was trying to go down right here. Let's see if we can get that to mark for you. This is the road that takes down to Laurel Pittman Center. This is where she was trying to get to, and see how far that is from the Gatlinburg area down here. So that road has been obviously closed off, according to Kristen. They're taking folks north out of there. But this is 321 that goes from Cosby down into Gatlinburg. So Kristen's up here at the Caton's Dunn's Market and Caton's Chapel, where 416 comes together, 454 that takes you into the arts and crafts community of the Gatlinburg region. So I wish I could show this to you dark. Let's see if we can show you this red here. You get a little better idea. Well, it's not painting, but anyway, this gives you a better idea. So those of you in Sevier County especially know where Caton's Chapel, and that's where the staging area, we just saw Kristen right here. This is 416 Pittman Center Road that comes down and joins 321 and goes right into Gatlinburg, and this is the area right here. This whole area of Gatlinburg has been evacuated. Gatlinburg City has been evacuated, and so that's the spur 321. So that kind of puts it in perspective. If you are a guest in town, you're visiting the Knoxville area, and you are in the Dollywood, Pigeon Forge area, you're not out of the woods, but you're in a much safer place than down here in the Gatlinburg area. As we've heard from the Sevier County Emergency Manager, they want people to, if you can, safely evacuate. If you can't, find a safe place to be. But if hopefully you're able to evacuate. 321 is going to be where they're going to try to get some folks out of here and head north. So this is the spur. We've already heard about fire here. There's Dollywood, put in perspective, Pigeon Forge, and then Caton's Chapel, which comes down over here, Pittman Center, and then down into 321. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we are right now. Ryan, let's check and see what you got back there.
All right. Matt, thank you very much. You know what? I want to check in with Ken Weathers. He's got an idea on how the wind speeds are hopefully changing, maybe calming down a little bit. Give those guys, those men and women up there fighting this fire a chance, possibly?
It's going to be a while, Ryan, unfortunately. Again, rain just starting to make its way into West Knoxville, which is good. Got some reports from there in the Carnes community. 44-mile-per-hour winds. These are gusts right now in the Maryville area, 21 in Gatlinburg. Want to show you this. This is what's going to happen as we go through the overnight hours. By 10 o'clock, so we're about 25 minutes away from that, look at these wind gust potential. Again, this is a forecast product, but it gives you a pretty good idea. 52 in Townsend, 55 Tremont, Gatlinburg 53, Cosby 58. Watch what happens as we go through the evening hours, through midnight. So at least for another 2.5 hours, we're going to be seeing these winds gusting 55, almost 60 miles per hour. That trend starts to slowly slacken overnight. But still by 2 a.m., we're in the low to mid 40 mile per hour wind gusts. Then things quiet down. Notice by 4 o'clock in the morning on into early tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So at least till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, we're going to see the potential, Ryan, of these winds gusting 40, 50, 60 miles per hour. The rain still again about 10:25, 10:30 making its way into the Gatlinburg area. So until then, we're still going to see those gusty winds. Those fires are going to be very problematic.
Yeah, absolutely, Ken. Thank you very much. Okay, just to kind of recap on what's going on here, what we have learned so far is downtown Gatlinburg under a mandatory evacuation right now. Everybody told to leave there, and if you're unable to get out of Gatlinburg, there are buses that can take you out. In fact, this is a live look here of downtown Gatlinburg for the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum here. We are also being told that Sevier County schools sent out a tweet saying that because of the conditions here at the brush fires, there will be no school in Sevier County tomorrow. And that also includes Cocke County schools as well. So both Sevier County and Cocke County schools do not, the kids do not have school tomorrow. Now here is a list of the shelters that have opened. The one in Gatlinburg, it's still waiting to confirm, but I can just assume that that one is closed since everybody is being told to leave. But these are the other shelters that are open. You can see the LeConte Center at Pigeon Forge Community Center, Liberty Baptist Church in Juarez Valley, Iglesia Cristiana La Luz de Jesus is also open for people to go and find some shelter here until things calm down and they're allowed back home into Gatlinburg. Again, a live look at what we're looking at. We're hearing the winds will not be slowing down a whole heck of a lot here for us. Matt, go ahead. What, you have something?
Look at this picture, this image that you can, well, let's get that, let's switch that back real quick if we can. We need the Gatlinburg camera right behind us because you can see it flaring up again with the, there you go. Just a second ago, you're able to see bright orange. You can see those pockets of fire that, you see that right there, Ken? Well, you've got the radar up there, so we're trying, we got so many different monitors we're looking at here. There you go. This whole ridge is on fire right here, and that's every once in a while a gust of smoke will come, gust of wind will come. You can see it starting to ignite the fire again. So this whole hill outside of Ripley's Aquarium and the Smokies, there's emergency vehicles going back and forth.
It looks like the main wind here with this as well is kind of pushing everything back into this direction.
Yep.
We've seen it in that direction, Matt. You can see the trees bending right through here. Look how strong these winds are. And like you mentioned, over on the hill, we saw this area right through here is where some of the largest flames were, but I'm almost wondering, Matt, if it's obscured just by the smoke in the area where you're not even able to see the flames at this part. But notice the steady stream of traffic again. I only see cars that are moving out of the Gatlinburg area, which is good to see. We're not seeing anybody coming back into the Gatlinburg area, so that would mean, I guess, a lot of people, Matt, are starting to head out of the area now.
Yeah. Let's get you updated on the radar here and give you an idea of where we are. Ken just showed you a few minutes ago that we've got rain approaching the area, and we do. If we can put Storm Tracker right here, you'll be able to see that we do have dry conditions in Knoxville, here in downtown Knoxville, but just to the west of us, we're starting to get light rain and even moderate rain in West Knox County. Also back toward Jamestown and Crossville, we're seeing some heavier rain. So we could get, once this rain starts, we could see a good hour or two of rain here, and we want to see all we can get. Now, we don't want it to just come and go real quick. We want it to come and stay with us a few hours, and that'd be the nice thing for it to happen right there. So that's the, put this into motion, be able to see it, how rapidly it's starting to expand across the area. There's been a couple reports of some wind damage out in Nashville area because of the strong winds. If that's going to happen, it'd be most likely that red area that you see right here by Jamestown, Crossville. But we are starting to see the rain move toward the Sevier County area. Now this right here is, if you've been watching us and you're wondering what this rain is here, that's not rain, that's the smoke from the fires being detected by the radar. As the cold front comes along, the winds will increase out of the south until this pushes through, and then the winds will shift around to the north and the northwest and to the west. So we'll see how that affects the fires there as well. So this is going to be a live picture right now of what's going on. We've got steady rain basically from Anderson County to Knox County back to the west, part of Athens down toward Tellico Plains, getting ready to rain there. And we're going to continue to see this move off to the east, starting to pick up some pretty good speed. So these are some of the communities that are in the path of this. The leading edge of this precipitation should be heading toward, but not only toward the east, but for most areas east of Knoxville, you're going to get the rain probably close to the midnight hour, if not before, over toward the Smokies. So I think you'll be able to see some of that heavier rain come through before the midnight hour in Knoxville. Obviously, we're starting to see it in West Knoxville. It'll be moving through downtown, and this is actually sped up just a little bit too. So hopefully we'll see some rain by Gatlinburg Pittman High School by 10:26, Newport Grammar School 10:41, and over to Greenville 11:09. That'd be great. Sevierville 10:08. So that would mean we could get some rain in the Sevierville area in the next half hour. That would be a benefit. If we can get any rain over parts of Sevier County or anywhere these fires are, that would be a great scenario for us. So that's the rain moving into West Knox County. Steady rain all the way back to Crossville and some gusty winds with us. And we've got rain in Fountain City, I'm just told by our producer. So just down the road from us here at the studios, we're starting to get rain. Bring it on. Let's go. Let's get it over to Sevier County and get it out of here. We're going to turn on our lightning detector, and that's going to let us know if we have any lightning detected in the area. Right now we're seeing very little, almost none, so I don't see any lightning reports right there. But this area that's in yellow, that's the area that's going to have the steadier concentration of rain, and it's going to let up a little bit, and we'll see more come in from Crossville. So we've got a good couple of hours of rain. Just let it rain is what most people are probably thinking in Sevier County, but the winds are going to be the main thing fanning those fires, and it looks like this rain is going to continue to slide off to the east. Put it back into motion, you'll give an idea of as this rain comes across. It'll be with us a couple hours in Knoxville, then it'll go over toward the mountains, and it is weakening a little bit from Middle Tennessee, but it is holding together enough that we are going to get at least maybe a ½ inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch of rain in some spots of East Tennessee, and then we get to do this again Tuesday night and the Wednesday morning, another round of rain. But this is the one of concern. Hopefully it'll get some of the dry foliage that's wet on the ground to help with those fires, but with the winds, that's going to be kind of an issue we have to deal with. So that's where the radar is right now. This is a home view for you, gives you perspective. Right here is the area that's have the forest fires. It's the most, again, that's the smoke. That's not the rain there yet, but the rain is moving into western parts of Blount County. So Sevier County next. I can just imagine all the emergency management folks in Sevier County just looking at their radars and looking at our app and hoping that the rain gets here quick, and that's exactly what we're expecting it to do as it moves our direction. So that's where we shape up right now as far as the radar is concerned. Rain moving into downtown Knoxville, steady rain moving to the east, rain still to the west. You still got rain in the plateau areas, and as this moves over Sevier County, it's not going to put the fires out, but hopefully it'll slow them down where they can get control of them as the firefighters do their job. We appreciate all the work the firefighters are doing there. Ryan?
Absolutely, Matt. You know what? One of our viewers, Janet Glass, just sending us this video here to take a look. This is a look at Sevierville, Wares Valley here off of Wares Valley Road. You take a look. Wow, look at that building up on the sides. You know, a lot of the videos I've seen so far is really just kind of the fire creeping along the ground, all the dried leaves and debris that has fallen over time here because of how dry it's been. But it looks like that's almost kind of picking up and starting to creep along and climb some of those trees. Again, this is video from Janet Glass in Wares Valley. Now, do we still have Hillary? Is Hillary Griffin? No, we're trying to get in contact with a lady, an evacuee here, just kind of fill us in on some of the stuff that she has seen when she exited and left Gatlinburg. But let's see, it's tough to see what is really going on there right now. You know, earlier with the winds blowing, we really saw the fires starting to pick up and move from place to place. I know that Pigeon Forge has some of their firefighters helped out. I know Seymour Fire is also up there, Gatlinburg, of course. Knox firefighters are up there as well. Probably a good portion of the firefighters in and around the area all heading up there if they're not up there already. Hillary Griffin is on the phone with us. Hillary, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi there. So when did you get out? Did you leave before the mandatory evacuation?
No, we were evacuated twice. We evacuated once from my house at my mom's up on Cartertown, and then we made it behind Brookside to my grandmother's, and then my uncle Charlie Cole is a firefighter in Gatlinburg, and he called and told us we had to get out of there. So we got out of there, went towards 321 and couldn't go no farther out towards Cosby, had to turn around. Then we went towards Glades, had to turn around again. We are now by Caden's Chapel at a standstill, but there's another fire on Shields Mountain, and I'm not sure what they're doing, if they're going to make us turn around again or not. But we did make it out of Gatlinburg, thank goodness.
Yeah, what did you see when you were leaving Gatlinburg?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. I mean, you can't even breathe. There's ashes in your eyes. It's the whole sky's lit up. My daughter went to Pigeon Forge on the spur, and there was fire beside her car. Just she could feel the heat going through her car. Is horrible. Everybody's terrified. It's just not a pretty scene.
You can hear the emergency vehicles there whizzing past
you.
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
Are
and
they?
We're not in Gatlinburg anymore, and they're everywhere. The fire's we need the rain bad.
You know, it's coming. We've got both our meteorologists in here tracking it and giving us updates on when it's supposed to arrive. Hillary, how much time did you have to leave your home?
Well, our power had went out, and when my uncle finally called us, we were at home maybe 10 minutes. We just got home, and he called us and told us we had to leave. So it took us probably 10 minutes to pack up 3 kids, three dogs and a chameleon and try to make it in the dark out to a little car and get in the car and drive as fast as we could off the mountain.
Well, did you have any time to really think, about, should I grab this?
We didn't grab anything. We grabbed ourselves, we grabbed a bag, and we left.
Yeah, well, that's the important thing. Get the whole family out and be safe. Now, were you able to see how close the fire was, or at least approaching to your place?
No, because he told us it was on the back side of the mountain. We live up on top of Cartertown, and it was just at the very bottom of the hill right there behind the church is what he said. It was going up on East Foothills. So he said it was, for him to call us and tell us to leave, it's pretty close.
Yeah. Could you see
He's been a firefighter for probably 27 years, so.
Hillary, you're kind of our eyes here of what you have seen leaving Gatlinburg. We've seen some videos and such, a couple of hotels maybe that might have been on fire. Did you see any of that as you were leaving?
I didn't see the hotels, but I heard about Park Vista where the fire's supposed to be at the bottom and there's a bunch of people trapped. My aunt lives up on Roaring Fork up on a mountain, and there's 2 or 3 houses on fire as we speak at the bottom of that mountain.
Oh, man.
And somebody just pushed through on Facebook that the Chamber of Commerce is on fire. I'm not sure if that's true or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on right now with a lot of uncertainty as what's happening with this fire, of course, with the winds fueling everything. So what's your plan for tonight?
Just to get away from Gatlinburg, pretty much. We're headed to Pigeon Forge to grab a motel room in Pigeon Forge, but they're saying that they're evacuating people in Pigeon Forge. My daughter went to Pigeon Forge earlier and that she had to leave and head towards Sevierville, but she was right off of the spur. So we'll just go until we have to leave again. Hopefully it'll start raining and we won't have to worry about that, but Gatlinburg's my hometown and it's just sad.
What have you been hearing from any of your friends?
Not much. I've been on Facebook a lot, but I've also been trying to get off and deal with my kids. I've got an 8-year-old that's a 9-year-old that's pretty wound up right now, so just trying to keep her calm.
Well, Hillary, I'm glad you got out of there. It sounds like your family's okay. Everybody's praying that no more homes burn and everything is okay, and no one wants to see anything happen to their town up there. So please, good luck with everything. And thanks for filling us in and everybody at home what's going on up there, what you were able to see.
Thank you so much.
All right, be safe out there, Hillary. Right now I want to go back to Chief Meteorologist Matt Hinken, taking a live look here of downtown Gatlinburg from the Ripley's Museum. Camera, what are you seeing now?
Yeah, Ryan, just for those people that have just joined us, this is downtown Gatlinburg. The camera is sitting on top of the Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies in Gatlinburg. You can see that right there. But we're also seeing the winds. This is the tree that's given us a very good idea of where the winds are blowing, and look what's happening on the side of that hill. This is a whole hill full of trees, and just a couple weeks ago we were showing how beautiful it was because of all the colors. You can see the silhouette of the orange behind the trees right there, and this is the fire burning here. So that's I hope that's not by Beta Phi Elementary School, but it's really close to it. It's behind the main drag, which goes right here up toward Sevierville, toward the Great Smoky Mountains. We want to put this back into motion for you. We've got a time lapse of this. We just got this put together, and this will give you an idea what it's looked like through the day. Look how strong the winds have been all day. That's not lightning flashing. That's just the sun and the thinness and thickness of the clouds. Everything moving along quite nicely, but as we get toward dark, then you'll notice that we start to see the fires up on the hills. Just watch up on the hill. You can see the fires, the different fires up there. And then here's the wind and the smoke blowing through the downtown Gatlinburg area. 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, not out of the question, but there you can see those fires popping up. And this is about 8 hours of time-lapse imagery, and we're taking a shot every 10-15 seconds or so up to the most recent hour. So this is where it looks right now, with again that orange silhouette on the horizon. That's right across, starting to burn. Still, this all has to go uphill. There's another batch of orange over here where the fires are there, and that's all got to climb up the hill. And there's numerous condos, numerous chalets, numerous vacation homes stuck up in the hills over Gatlinburg, and you can see that on a clear day. It's a beautiful sight, but unfortunately this is taking place right now. pretty close to getting some rain there. Look at the trees. I mean, these winds are blowing at least 40 to 50 miles an hour with gusts that could be stronger, and that's what's causing the big headache there with the fueling the fire. Literally to speak is what it's doing, as we see the fire continue up on the mountain there. But it looks, no, there we just saw either a power pole or a flash of lightning, and it must be a power pole because that was a significant flash that we just saw right there. Fire continues. What happens is the trees get blown down onto the power lines, and the power lines cause the fire that we're seeing. So we're going to continue to monitor that fire. It extends all the way up, and you can't see it all the way, but it goes all the way up over here on the side of this hill. And tomorrow when daylight comes along, you'll be able to see everything going to the north, everything climbing. Uh-oh, there we go. We start to see more power outages taking place right there. So something is on the power lines, and it looks like they're about to lose power.
Could just be the wind itself knocking down some of the power lines.
That's true. Could be knocking down.
Strong as those winds are.
Yeah,
so
hey guys, let's go to David Ware. He's the mayor of Pigeon Forge. He's joining us by phone. And Mayor, are you there?
I am, yes.
Well, sir, thanks for joining us. I'm sure a pretty crazy night for you, busy night here. What are you hearing so far?
Well, the city of Pigeon Forge is doing the best. The fire department, police department, doing the best they can to keep the fires at bay on the south end of town. We have initiated evacuation from Dollywood Lane, which is red light number 8 in the city of Pigeon Forge south, just for residents only. If people are sheltered in a hotel or a commercial business that's sprinkled, they're safe to stay there, but the evacuation for residents has taken place about 45 minutes ago, and the locations they could evacuate to are the Pigeon Forge Community Center as well as the LeConte Event Center on Jake Thomas.
Have you had a chance to go into Gatlinburg or anywhere nearby and see some of how close the fire has gotten to either the roadways or any of the buildings, or do you have any family up there?
Well, sure, certainly we're praying for our sister city to the south. You want to understand they've got some fire damage on the parkway and some structures that are on fire. And the wind is just carrying those embers and the fire long distances away. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing here on the south end of our town. So I don't know the extent of their damage. We're really focused right now on Pigeon Forge and keeping it and just praying for those folks down in Gatlinburg.
You know, you bring up a good point here about the winds and how it's blowing the embers, and some of those embers are pretty big and catching other little fires elsewhere. Are you doing anything there in Pigeon Forge as the wind pushes your direction, just in case something happens there?
Absolutely. We're encouraging everyone that can or is able to wet everything down that they can. We're focused on the south end of town. Of course, that's the closest end to the spur into Gatlinburg. And just encouraging them to wet everything down and keep an eye out. But we do have pop-up fires and some significant fire in the woods, in the dry leaves and the trees on the south end of town that's spreading pretty rapidly with this wind.
Yeah. Well, Mayor, I do have a little bit of good news here. I got a text here that my family in Maryville is getting some rain, so it's coming.
That is fantastic news. I don't think it could get here quick enough.
No kidding. Yeah. Well, Mayor, thank you for talking with us. I do appreciate it. Good luck out there.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Right now, we are now going to send it out to WATE 6 on your side anchor, Kristen Farley. She is standing by at what it looks like a lot of people are evacuating. You see people kind of coming through behind you.
Yeah, we have really 3 lanes, of traffic coming in from 3 different directions. And as you can see behind me here, we have officers and other law enforcement here guiding the way. And I've got to be honest with you, these officers right now, a very tough job because so many people are pulling up here and are rather emotional. A lot of them want to turn down roads that they have closed, saying that they have other family members still there that they want to get out. Other people saying they want to go get some belongings from their homes. Spoke with one officer who said that, one gentleman who said he was a volunteer firefighter in another area and he was going to get to his house whether they let him through or not. And as you can see, even just behind me right now, people stopping, obviously scared, concerned, worried, not sure where to go, and everybody just searching for answers. And on top of all of that, Guys, the wind is just really picking up here right now. There have been moments where the debris flying around just where we are. Again, to give you a little bit of an idea, we are off of Pittman Center Road near Dunn's Market, near Upper Middle Creek. And the winds here, when they pick up, some of the debris that begins to fly through the air is getting in people's eyes. You can see people rolling up their windows in their cars who may have their windows rolled down to ask questions, but you can definitely tell the difference in conditions out here. We're trying to get some more answers. There's a sergeant who's arrived here on the scene. We're going to see what else we can find out. But again, they are telling everyone to turn back around, go to an evacuation center, or get as far away from these fires from the Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg area that you can.
All right, Kristen, thank you very much. It looks like, yeah, that wind really picking up, and it appears our camera may be having some problems there in downtown Gatlinburg. Again, this is not our first camera that is having some issues. Ken, go ahead.
Most likely, Ryan, what happened is the wind actually blew the camera and changed the direction, Matt.
Yeah, and the question I have now is
wow,
if this is the front of the building, if the camera is facing that direction, that whole side of the hill is on fire in Gatlinburg. So this is Ripley's Aquarium.
You know, this looks like that. Wow, I can't even tell. That looks like the entrance part to Ripley's.
Yeah, because our camera's right. That's what it is.
So it's blown all the way around, almost 270 degrees. So this would be behind the aquarium,
this fire's
correct?
behind. Yeah, this is
okay.
This is where this camera was pointing down on the road, and so it got blown back this way.
So it's blown all the way back around.
That's the way it looks right now.
Wow,
yeah.
You can just see the hills on fire here across the air.
They
they just lost power. So the power at Ripley's Aquarium looks like it's gone out. So I don't know how long our camera.
It comes back on now. So they may have
some emergency power there.
May have some generators there going.
So I don't know how long the power will last, you know, with our live stream here. But again, it's amazing to see the hillside on fire back there.
I was going to say, if I had a contact at Ripley's Aquarium, I'd give them a call, but I don't have a contact there. If anybody, any employees from Ripley's Aquarium are watching, if they could give us a call and let us know exactly what's going on. But this appears to be on the hill. If this is the hill behind Ripley's Aquarium and the Smokies, there's all kinds of condos and houses up there. I've got a feeling this event is much more than we're seeing right now, and I've got a feeling until we see daylight tomorrow, it's going to be a rough night. But the good news is that the rain is moving into Sevier County.
20 minutes away.
20 minutes away. We're going to show you that here in just a second. But yeah, that's what this camera is on top of Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. We're having a hard time figuring out exactly which direction the camera got blown, but it was showing right down on the main entrance to the aquarium there, across from the Mexican restaurant. So there you have it. That's Gatlinburg right now on this what is it, Monday evening? Tuesday evening?
Monday evening.
Monday evening.
But amazing to see, again, we've been seeing just how strong the winds are. You can see the trees here in the background, how they're leaning over. But again, amazing to see how that camera has spun all the way back around, forcing its way back. And look how the fires are just continuing to flare up, Matt, with these 30, 40, 50 mile per hour winds.
Yeah, and if we have anybody on our engineering staff, if there's any chance to get a signal from the old Ripley's camera, I knew at times we were able to see that. If there's able to get a signal from that, let us know and we'll get a picture of that.
This is a WATE 6 on your side special report.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Ryan O'Donnell. We do have breaking news. We're going to continue our coverage. For those of you who are joining us new here at the CW20 News at 10, we also have WATE 6 on your side news at 11, or WATE also watching us at the same time here as we continue our coverage here of the fires in and around the Gatlinburg area. Mandatory evacuations right now. Officials are urging people to exit using Highway 321. Pigeon Forge residents and guests located in the areas between traffic light 8 and the spur are under mandatory evacuations. 3 county school buses are available for emergency transport and are being dispatched for those who need some help getting out of the Gatlinburg area. We know that the Pigeon Forge between traffic light 8 and the spur, as we mentioned, is going to be closed. They want people out of there. If you happen to see anybody that could use some help, please help them along the way. Now, LeConte Center at Pigeon Forge. These are some of the shelters that are open. The Pigeon Forge Community Center, Liberty Baptist Church in Wares Valley, and Iglesia Cristiana La Luz de Jesus are some of the shelters that are open As of right now, those are the 4 that we have gotten word yet. Now, several other areas have also declared an immediate mandatory evacuation along the Great Smoky Mountains, including Minot Park, Savage Gardens, and East Foothills Road. Now, we do want to take you out live to Gatlinburg, where we find our very own WATE 6 on your side anchor, Kristen Farley. And Kristen, take us through your scene right now with people. It actually seems to not be chaotic at all with people leaving behind you.
I'm glad it seems that way at moments, Ryan. It has been pretty chaotic just because of the emotions and the concern here. Officers doing a great job of trying to make sure that everyone is getting out of here in an orderly fashion and answer as many questions as they can. We just finished talking to the Sevier County Sergeant, Sergeant Stoffel, who was telling us that basic message right now to anyone who can hear my voice: if you can see or smell the smoke, it is probably best at this point if you try to evacuate. They are saying that things are happening so quickly, the flames spreading so rapidly. Also beginning to tell me that they are considering, this is not open yet, but the Sevierville Community Center may be opening as another shelter because so many people are now being asked to leave. I'm going to step out of the shot for a minute so you can take a look down here. And what you're looking at, this is Pittman Center Drive here, and this is a line of cars leaving the area. Again, officers helping to guide people in the right direction. They are asking people not to turn down Upper Middle Creek Road behind me where Dunn's Market is. We have people coming in from all directions, and obviously people concerned. I just heard someone say to one of the officers, I have a cabin right around the corner. Can I go check? I have a child or a husband or a spouse up there. Can I go check? So a very tenuous situation because honestly they just want everyone to turn around and get as far away from the flames. Occasionally you will see an orange glow over the edge of the mountain where we are now. But again, speaking with the Sevier County Sheriff's Office and them telling us that if you can smell smoke, see the flames, anything like that right now, don't sit in your home and watch it. Get out as quickly as you can. Ryan?
All right, Kristen, thank you very much. Right now we want to take a look at some video here, some very powerful video. This is Park West Hotel. This is the hotel that if you're Park Vista, sorry, that if you're coming through the 441 here through downtown and then you head up Cherokee Orchard Road, look at the flames that you see out the window there. You can just see the haze inside of the hotel, how much smoke, you know, it is collected here where they're just unable to keep some of that smoke from around you outside of it. So we're monitoring all the different buildings that we can that have caught fire. We heard from a couple different people so far that said that, well, at least 2 homes that one evacuee said she saw end up on fire as she was leaving, and then someone else had mentioned, I believe maybe the mayor, that a couple other buildings might be on fire as well. One thing that we're also learning as we sent it over to Chief Meteorologist Matt Hinken is that a big emergency warning had been sent out.
Okay, first of all, let's give you a perspective where we are right now, because this is Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. Now, this is where we've been showing you a picture of clear as a bell right in the intersection there, but the wind gust turned our camera around. So now this is the entrance to the aquarium down here, the front lobby where you would see that. The camera's pointing back over the ridge now, over the roof of the Ripley's Aquarium now. It's looking back to a different direction than what we've seen before. So this looks like the hill behind Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies appears to be on fire. There's definitely a fire there, and that's where we're thinking that this location is. So if you can put this into perspective, this is the front of Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies where we have our camera. A wind gust has shifted it, and so now we're looking across the roof and up on the hill. I can't tell you exactly where we are on the hill, but look at the orange glow behind that. That's a very steep hill, and there are some many villas, townhomes, chalets, condos, cottages up on that hill there. So, oh boy, we're hoping that we can get that under control as well. So that's the way it is in Gatlinburg. Now, up on the other side of the hill is the Park Vista Hotel, and this is the video we're seeing there. The Park Vista Hotel is the round-shaped hotel that you can see right up on the hill very prominently from downtown Gatlinburg, and it appears that fire is outside the windows there. We can only hope that the people that are inside the hotel were able to get to a situation where they were safe. It's going to be interesting to see. We've heard several reports, some people that have been stranded there. We've heard several reports of fire at the Park Vista, and you can see how tall that hotel is, right? And it's the hotel, if you're standing up over the Gatlinburg bypass, you look across Gatlinburg and right up on the hill. So those of you that are visitors in town, you know that's the area that where you'd be able to that video came from, the Park Vista Hotel. It's the site of many conventions. It's the site of many marriage retreats. It's a great overlook of the Smoky Mountains. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like, and hopefully it's not as bad as we see right there. It looks like people have, you know, in downtown Gatlinburg have been evacuated, but it's amazing what kind of sources we get with your cell phone video. If you have any other cell phone video, we'd love to see it. Just send it to our newsroom at WATE, or report it at WATE.com, and you'll be able to see that. So
hey Matt, you know, sorry to interrupt, but I got an email from somebody saying that, just to double check since you've been there, that fire that we see out the window, is there a fire pit or a fireplace out there that might have been just kind of blowing up way too much, or is that really the fire, to your understanding of being there?
It appears that, and again, without seeing the camera shift exactly, it appears that, I know that this is the front of the aquarium, because watch, you can see...
Oh, no, Matt, here at the hotel.
Oh, at the Park Vista, I'm sorry.
Park Vista.
What was the question again?
This what we're looking at right here. Do you know, is there a fire pit? I got an email that it could be a fire pit or something like that.
There's no outdoor burning allowed. That's a burn ban's been in place, so I cannot see how that would be any type of an outdoor fire.
Right, and all the parking places and all the parking for that hotel is actually behind the hotel, so the front of the hotel goes basically right down to the, where foliage is, so that's a pretty nasty fire right there. You can still see the camera bouncing around as the winds continue to blow in the Gatlinburg area. This is in front of Ripley's Aquarium. Wish that camera had not moved. We'd have a better perspective, but there are fires up and down the hill, and that's the way it shapes up right now. The good news is that we're starting to get some rain over towards Sevier County. I'm going to let meteorologist Ken Weathers get you up to date on that. But yes, some showers. It looks like steady rain over Knoxville. We can hear rain on our rooftop here at the studio, so it's coming towards Sevier County and actually moving into the northern part of Sevier County right now, Ken.
Yeah, Matt, that's the great news with all this. Again, if you look at Storm Tracker 6 here, what we can see, this is still the area of smoke in the Gatlinburg area. Leading edge of the very light rain working its way into Sevier County. But again, as dry as the air has been, it is taking a little bit for this to reach the ground. You're probably feeling at least a sprinkle or two in the Sevierville area. This is steady rain, though, from Knoxville to Maryville. So let's put a track on this. We can kind of get an idea of where this rain is going to be going. Leading edge, again, continues to make its way east near Ober-Gatlinburg right around 1022. Gatlinburg downtown at 1018. Ober at 1014. GP High School at 1022. So again, you'll start to feel a few sprinkles first, then you're going to see additional scattered showers move through. Here's the problem. Even with the rain moving in, the winds are still going to stay brisk. We're going to continue to see 30, 40, 50-plus mile-per-hour winds even as the rain moves through. So yes, we need the rain. Yes, it's coming in, but the winds are still going to stay brisk. In fact, the winds are going to stay with us at least through the early morning hours, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning before they die down as we get closer to sunset. And we've got, and actually we can show you that across the area. Here are the current wind gusts right now. Look at Maryville, 48 mile-per-hour wind gusts right now, 33 in Gatlinburg, 17 in Knoxville. Look at that, Sevierville. 53 mile-per-hour wind gusts just popped up there. That's the live reading there in the Sevierville area. Here's what we were talking about. Everything in red right through here. Those are winds greater than 50 miles per hour. So from 10 o'clock tonight, we're sustained winds, sustained winds in that 20 to 30, but these are wind gusts, 50. Almost 60 miles per hour. And notice as we go through midnight, still seeing those very strong winds across the area. It's going to be very late tonight. We'll advance this to 2 o'clock in the morning. Still seeing winds in that 30 to 40 mile per hour gust range. Then they start to quiet down. By 4 o'clock in the morning, we're finally seeing wind gusts only at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then by the time we get to sunrise, or just before it at 6 a.m., it is much quieter. So you can see through at least about 3 o'clock in the morning, even with the rain, we're going to continue to see those winds gusting 30, 40, 50 miles per hour throughout the area. So again, rain working its way through. We're probably 15, 20 minutes away from seeing some steadier rainfall making its way into the Gatlinburg area. But even with that, we're still, Ryan, going to be seeing some of those very strong winds accompanying the rain. And we're still going to have to keep a close eye on the fire situation, even with some of the rain starting to come down.
Yeah, absolutely, Ken. Thank you very much. I do want to show some pretty compelling video we got from one of our viewers. This is of Wares Valley. This is what she was recording as she was evacuating from the area. You can see just how close some of the fire line is getting to the road. In fact, some of the other videos I've seen even closer to the road, just a couple of feet as people are heading out of town. We talked to one evacuee who said that she was able to feel the heat radiating. It was so close as they were evacuating from their home in Gatlinburg. Now, I want to catch up with Captain DJ Corcoran. He's with Knoxville Fire. And Captain Corcoran, you've got a crew that headed up, much like many of the neighboring cities around Gatlinburg, to head up and help out. What's kind of the attack plan? What have you heard so far?
We do. They requested mutual aid from the city of Knoxville, and then along with other agencies, as you mentioned. Rural Metro has an engine company. Carnes Volunteer has a engine company. We've sent 2 engine companies, 2 tankers, a ladder truck, and a brush truck, along with about 16 people from the city of Knoxville Fire Department to assist with their needs there.
How does this come together when you have so many different firefighters from different cities? Who takes point? Who says, you know, which group, which ladder truck, or which truck and firefighters go where?
Well, the incident commander that's on the scene there will instruct our firefighters, and everybody is familiar with the same terminology and all that. That dates back to the California fires back probably in the late 70s, early 80s, where everybody has the same lingo, you know, that a tanker to a firefighter is a tanker across the board.
Gotcha.
An engine is an engine, a tender, and all of these things. So it's the same terminology. So everybody works well under that incident commander.
What have you heard so far, if anything, from your firefighters that have gone up there? Because if I remember right, they went up a few hours ago, right?
They did, yeah. The conditions were really horrific. The winds were picking up. Now, right now, we're getting a little bit of rain and all, so that's hopefully it'll be a good soaking rain, and it will help to extinguish the fires. But the winds were what really the firefighters were fighting against, those heavy winds, just picking up fires and spreading them really quickly.
Captain Corcoran, what is the #1 priority in a situation like this?
Life safety. Life safety is always #1 in our job. You know, life, safety, and then property, in that order.
Oop, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yes.
I'm sorry. I thought we lost you there. Do you know how long your team plans on being up there?
Yeah, until we're no longer needed.
Yeah.
You know, we're committed to the incident there. So until that incident commander releases them, they'll be there.
All right, Captain Corcoran on the phone with us. Knoxville Fire Department sent up a team there and has been up there for a few hours already, trying to help battle this blaze here. As just to kind of fill everybody in, mandatory evacuations in downtown Gatlinburg. Everybody there being told to evacuate and leave immediately. You're taking a live look here at, this is our tower cam at Ripley's Aquarium that typically has a shot that you see the road, you see a little activity in the corner of the intersection, but what we believe the winds have kind of shifted our camera around, but you can see off to your left where the fire is burning, how closely the fire is burning there in downtown Gatlinburg. Right now we're going to send things back out to WATE 6 on your side anchor, Kristen Farley. Kristen.
Hey, Ryan, you know, we have a developing situation here. You can see this line of cars that they are trying to get out of this intersection and off of this road. This is Upper Middle Creek Road. We had someone come in just a moment ago saying that they needed to get all cars off of this roadway ASAP because there was fires burning on both sides of the mountain here, on both sides of the road. We were also told by the same Sevier County Sheriff's official that there is a fire burning near McCartney Hollow, near Dollywood, just to give you a little bit of perspective. I also want to go ahead and ask a resident. We have Jim McMahon. Come on in here, Jim. He's wandered down here to this intersection. This is right around the corner from your home, Jim. First of all, are you guys safe where you are now in this area?
We hope so, but we've packed our valuables ready to go if we need to.
And Jim, tell me, how long have you lived in this area, and have you ever seen anything like this before?
I'm 72, and I've lived here my whole life, so never seen nothing like this.
I understand you have been at home. You actually wandered down here and said that you just watched us on TV. What are you hearing from officials about when it's time to leave here?
Well, we haven't heard anything at all. We're just cautious and ready to go. I don't think we're going to be in any trouble. But if these fires come in across Middle Creek, come across this one hill right here, then they're right on us.
So everyone needs to be extra careful.
Yeah, you need to be ready to go if you need to.
All right, what are you thinking right now? You've seen some of the images in Gatlinburg, fire all around the area down there.
It's amazing. I just can't understand how they all started and why. I just don't know.
Heartbreaking.
It is. It's tragic.
All right, Jim, please be careful out here. We appreciate you coming down. All right, everyone. Again, the situation here, fire burning on both sides of Upper Middle Creek Road. They are now with great urgency trying to get everyone off of this roadway behind me here and to a safer area. We can also tell you in just about the last 5 to 10 minutes, the smoke has really picked up, the debris in the air, very intense, and I would say that it's causing some people at this point to begin to cough, and you definitely can taste the air, if you will, in this area. But obviously the most important thing at this point is to get everyone out of here safely. We've heard officials say it so many times tonight. Structures can be replaced, people cannot. So we're going to continue to keep you updated. Again, as we heard, if you can see smoke, see flames, or even smell it, you possibly should consider leaving your home tonight and getting to a safer location. Ryan?
Now, Kristen, of course, we've been waiting for the rain to hit all day here. Is it sprinkling at all? It's tough to see on camera whether or not it's raining on you. It's raining here.
No, to be honest with you, if you're seeing anything at this point, what you are seeing is actually debris floating through the air. Unfortunately, earlier tonight we thought we felt a raindrop about an hour or so ago, but not yet. We're hoping so. And you can hear, I don't know if you could just hear the horns honking from the other direction over there. People are anxious to get out of these long lines of traffic and get to a safer location, and hopefully seeing some rain here will kind of ease some fears in the area. Ryan?
All right, Kristen, thank you very much. We're now going to talk to Dean Leamer from FEMA right now. Sleaner, I believe, is his name. And Dean, I apologize if I'm not getting that right for you.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
pretty crazy situation going on here. What can you share with us this evening?
Well, we have had the State Emergency Operations Center activated in Nashville since the start of these wildfires many days ago. We are in full activation mode tonight, trying to coordinate resources with local officials in Sevier County to get resources, fire apparatus, and personnel into the county to help them in the response to these wildfires. We are also working with the National Guard to try to get personnel in there to help with clearing roads. One thing I would like to ask is for those in Sevier County who are using mobile devices, unless they are making emergency calls, if they could stay off of their phones, it would be a big help because we have seen an inundation of the mobile lines, especially on the Verizon system, and it would be a great help unless they're making emergency calls to please stay off of their Verizon phones and their mobile devices and all of their devices and even other mobile carriers as well. And that would be a big help to those who are trying to make calls into emergency responders and between response agencies in the county.
How much of that, Dean, do you rely on with cell phone reception and such when it comes to putting together a strategy and a response?
Well, it is emergency communications is a huge part of what we do, and everything is via internet protocol, over radio, over telephone, over mobile devices. Everything now is on some kind of network, and networks can get inundated. And so again, it's just if you're on a mobile device, if you could stay off the phone, if you're in Sevier County, while we are doing this response, it would help in coordinating communications with emergency responders and others in the area.
Now, do you have crews already on their way, or are they already here? What kind of status do you have with what's going on with the fire and the progression it's making in Gatlinburg?
We have, through the Fire Mutual Aid Network in Tennessee, we have about, I believe, 50 or so fire apparatus and personnel coming from as far north as Greenville, Tennessee, and as far south as McMinn County. So we have a number of personnel who are on their way. We are also working to get our National Guard partners in place so they can come out and assist with moving debris. TEMA has also deployed personnel directly to the command center to assist with coordination of all the resources that are coming in and to help the local officials there on the ground and local responders too.
Gotcha. So we've got a big wave of people and equipment coming in, and I'm assuming it seems to be kind of the way things are shaping up is that they will stay here until their services are pretty much not needed anymore. Is that correct?
We are going to stay as long as we are needed to stay to help protect lives and property, lives most of all.
Yeah, absolutely. Dean, thank you very much for filling us in on how FEMA is responding to this. We now want to go to Ryan. He is the GM there at Ripley's Aquarium. And Ryan, it's, you know, we've been watching our camera that's posted on the top of the building there throughout the evening here, and it's shifted. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it, but we're kind of guessing as to what we're really looking at with our camera. It's not what you're seeing on TV right now. It's a different shot. Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's first just kind of talk about, we've been watching the aquarium on TV here. It looked like you guys lost power briefly. What's going on?
Well, the current situation isn't a good one, generally. Obviously, the city is not in the best of shape right now. No question about that. The aquarium currently does have power. We've evacuated certainly all of our personnel. There's absolutely nothing we can do other than what we've done at the moment, which is protect the animals to the best of our ability. Luckily, if there's a safe building in the city of Gatlinburg, it's Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. We built that place. It's like a bunker. I think it would survive a nuclear war. But smoke inhalation is the problem, right? Smoke is always the issue on these things, which is why we have no personnel left there. Gatlinburg is, myself included, we've evacuated and had a very hard time getting out of the city. So right now we do have power. Right now the animals are quite fine and healthy, and right now everything is okay. But everything around us is very problematic.
So are you still there, or did you leave?
I'm in Pigeon Forge currently.
I got you. Okay. Now,
yeah.
is there
my home, to be fair, like you can see the wildfires right outside my bedroom window, so we had to evacuate.
I got you. Yeah. So is there a team that kind of stays behind with the animals and just?
Well, normally the answer to that is absolutely yes, and myself included. In this case, the smoke is so poor in that area that breathing is problematic. But see, the animals are okay, right? We have scrubbers and things like that, so they don't really notice it in the water. We have diesel generators and everything like that, so they'll function fine on autopilot. But 99% of the time, we would absolutely be on site. There's no question that we would.
Sure.
This is a very, very odd circumstance that it's not why we aren't prepared for it. We are absolutely prepared for it. It's just not the best of circumstances that we could ask for.
Oh, yeah, of course not.
So the last of our personnel has been evacuated out of it.
Hey, Ryan, Chief Meteorologist Matt Hinken has a question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
Hey, Ryan. Here's a question I have. We've got the camera on top of your facility there, and it was showing the intersection in front of your facility perfectly. A wind gust took it and spun it around. And what I want to do for our viewers is I want to show them a daytime picture. You obviously cannot see our signal, can you? Can you see what we're broadcasting?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I'm driving.
Okay, so you've got your main, I'm showing our viewers your facility right now, the aquarium, from standing looking up at it. The three flagpoles. Right behind those flagpoles is where our camera is sitting. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So our camera got spun around, and I'm going to show our viewers another picture of the camera now. We're seeing up on the hill. It's pointing up on the hill. We've lost our video signal, but the hill behind the aquarium appears to be engulfed in flames.
Fire.
Yeah. Is that what you're hearing from your folks?
Here's what I have heard, and my information is much worse than yours. Let me say that. I have heard that there's a fire in Greystone Heights behind the aquarium. I have heard reports of associated hotels on fire kind of near the aquarium, but I don't know if that's credible. And I've heard of major issues on Ski Mountain Road a couple miles away. That's where probably I'm most concerned, that and for people at the Park Vista and Minette Park area. I think those are the worst. But don't go by what I say by any stretch. Go by the information you guys have, which is probably far more current.
Right, and we've been watching it. We've been watching our camera. It appears that the hill behind the aquarium then is on fire. Our camera's locked up. And
Yeah,
we're
that's called Greystone Heights, that area.
Greystone Heights, okay.
Called.
And
yeah, and that emergency personnel are all over the place. I think they're doing the best that they absolutely can do, but it is definitely an area to avoid. There's no question about that.
Sure, and then across the street from you, over by Pi Beta Phi Elementary School, behind the main drag, that whole hill appeared to be on fire. Have you heard anything?
It is. I have friends that are in that area, and I just recently got a picture within the last 15 minutes around the Jack Cup Motel there, right above it, is on fire, and people are expected to lose their homes, and obviously it's devastating. And again, my home we're very worried about as well. So it's all of us are just on pins and needles.
Sure.
But yeah, that area is definitely on fire.
Okay. And then the hotel next to the have you heard anything about the hotel next to the aquarium then?
I had heard, and again, I don't know how good this information is, that the River Terrace had something going on at it, but I don't know if that's accurate or not. That's complete rumor, but it might be accurate. With everything going on right now, I honestly don't know.
Sure. Okay, well, Ryan, we appreciate your help. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and the staff at Ripley's Aquarium, and we hope we'll get this rain. It's raining in Knoxville.
Matt, if you guys would kind of put me back to your producer, I'll make sure I leave my cell phone with them so they have the ability to contact me.
Okay, I think our producer can probably hear you and take care of that. Yep, all right, Ryan, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. In fact, he posted some video earlier today of what he was seeing in Gatlinburg, and again, you can see all the smoke developing. This was a few hours ago before things really started to develop, before the mandatory evacuations. These were the voluntary evacuations. You can see the aquarium right there as he did that full circle. But you can see just how fast and hard those winds are blowing, and you can see sometimes the ash and the embers just flowing through the air as well. And that's one thing that we're really paying attention to, and to follow it more, we're going to send things over to meteorologist Ken Weathers in the Storm Center. So Ken, we were talking about the wind and how fast it's blowing and such, so have things slowed down a little bit with the fact that they're... No,
it's still going to pick up. And Ryan, I found this. A friend of mine in Cincinnati found this. He sent this to me. Look at this. This was a weather station off of Roaring Fork Road, and the time stamp is 8:34, so it was probably right before when some of the stronger winds and possibly fire came through. That is not a mistake. It was showing 118 degrees, and right behind the Park Vista Hotel. Winds were south-southwest at 43, a gust of 69 miles per hour. Feels like 128 degrees. So again, you could probably see just how warm it was near this station where all the fires were starting to surround the region. This looks like rain, but believe it or not, this was actually the smoke plume from the fires. Earlier this afternoon, I'm going to roll this back and put it in motion for you again. This is from about the past 6 hours. This was all the smoke being picked up by the radar earlier. Now we're just starting to see some of that rainfall make its way in, and this is probably the best thing that we've seen. It looks like we are getting at least some rain into that Gatlinburg area. I'm going to put a track on this for you. We had it timed out at about 10:25, I think, the last time we looked, and it's pretty close to that at this point. So it's been moving at about 35 miles per hour, and if it continues doing so, it's got at Gatlinburg right about now at 10:30, GP High School at 10:34, Mount Lacan at 10:41. And again, this is all rain. This is not smoke. That is moving in this direction. And as we pull back out a bit, you can see there's additional rainfall making its way now into Putnam County near Cookville on the plateau. So we have this rain moving through, and then we have another line of showers that will move through as well. But as you mentioned, Ryan, you were saying, are winds going to be an issue? Yes, even with the rain coming through, we're still going to be seeing these gusty winds. This is live right now, and you can see 48 mile per hour wind gust in Maryville, 40 in Gatlinburg, 28 in Sevierville. And as we've been showing you here, look at the wind forecast. These are wind gust forecasts as we go through tonight from 10 o'clock, where we're seeing 50, almost 60 mile per hour gust. That continues through midnight from Townsend, Tremont, Gatlinburg, Pittman Center, Cosby, all the way till 2 a.m. We're still seeing 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gust at this time. Notice by 4 o'clock, the winds start to die down a bit, and then by the time 6 o'clock gets here, much quieter. So again, good news, bad news. Good news, we've got the rain moving in now. Bad news is the winds are not going to die down, Ryan, until probably around that 4 to 6 a.m. time frame. We're going to be dry tomorrow. Winds will still be up in that 10 to 20 mile per hour range out of the south until our next batch of rain comes through overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. So Ryan, we've still got that. Once this rain moves through tonight, we've got a window of tomorrow afternoon where we may not see rain again. And unfortunately, if it doesn't put a lot of these fires out, we still have the opportunity of additional fires possibly starting or spreading until we get the next round of rain Tuesday night into Wednesday. That one should be heavier. We should see more rainfall Tuesday night through Wednesday compared to what we'll see tonight.
Well, you know, one of the concerns then you now have with the rainfall coming in with the fires out is the fact that, well, now you might have mudslides and things because, of course, when you have a fire, it burns things and it changes the dynamic of how water flows, and that is certainly going to be something to watch out for, too, if you're in and around the areas that have burned, since we have seen so many wildfires and such. This is video here. This is from Kelly Wolf. Thank you, one of our viewers sending in from Reagan Drive, obviously at nighttime. So here within the last couple of hours, you can see all the different levels of fire burning and such there. Again, this is off of Reagan Drive from Kelly Wolf. Thank you very much. And man, look at that. That is incredible. As we keep getting videos in from different viewers. Let's send things back out to Kristen Farley. She's out there at an area where the evacuation, one of the only areas where people are able to evacuate. Huh, Kristen?
Yeah, still long lines here in all directions. Again, we're at Pittman Center, and we're also at the intersection of Upper Middle Creek. Again, earlier we were told they were trying to get the people off of Upper Middle Creek Road as quickly as possible because there were fires on both sides. As you can hear, there is quite a few emergency personnel coming in through this area right now. This seems to kind of be a thoroughfare, if you will, to get emergency personnel to the Gatlinburg area. Just a few moments ago, we also saw that Knox County's mobile fire unit raced through this area as well. Now, if there's any good news, we want to point out, if we can kind of pan down here to take a look at this rock, what do you see? You're beginning to see raindrops falling here in the area. A sight that so many people want to see. We are seeing the lines of traffic in one direction begin to diminish, but again, as you can still see behind me, coming this way from the hardest hit areas, still a long line of people. One of the things you may have also noticed, Ryan, and everyone at home, is the smoke here in this area. Much worse than it was just about 15 minutes ago when we last saw you, and the winds really beginning to pick up. So we will continue to follow the situation out here, get updates as well, and send them your way. Ryan?
All right, Kristen, thank you very much. I appreciate the update. I do want to pass along that Cocke County, Sevier County, and Greene County schools will all be closed tomorrow because of the wildfires and what is going on in and around the Gatlinburg area. Again, Cocke County, Sevier County, and Greene County schools will all be closed. The kids will not be going to school because of the fires. You know, a lot of people responding to what's going on up in the Gatlinburg area. Oak Ridge Police tweeting out our prayers are also with the residents, visitors, and all being affected by the wildfires in Sevier County tonight. A lot of people responding to that. We've got Seymour, the fire department, that is helping out. We've got the Knoxville Fire Department helping out. We've got, of course, Sevierville Fire Department. We've got Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge. We heard from the mayor. So a lot of different agencies helping out with this. 14 fires at last check are burning in and around the Gatlinburg area, and we're going to keep monitoring what's going on as downtown Gatlinburg is under a mandatory evacuation as people are leaving, and just a mess up there as the firefighters try to contain and make sure everyone is safe. Folks, that's it for the CW20 News at 10. Please join us at WATE right now. All right, so as we continue here at WATE 6 on your side here, we got still about 25 minutes before the 11 o'clock newscast here. Again, breaking news as the mandatory evacuations in Gatlinburg. We just heard from the GM from Ripley's Aquarium there saying that the fire has climbed up the mountain behind the aquarium, and they had to leave their animals behind, but they feel pretty safe and secure that the animals will do fine with them being in the water. They have generators for them and such, but of course we hope none of that happens. And we just heard from Kristen Farley talking about they are seeing some rain finally over there. Interestingly enough, I have received a few emails and tweets and such saying that they are excited because the rain is finally here, knowing how important it is to get that rain here to help fight the wildfires that are burning up in the Gatlinburg area. Again, mandatory evacuations. I do want to send things over to Chief Meteorologist Matt Hinken and just to show a little bit more about what we're seeing there in downtown Gatlinburg and the Ripley's Aquarium camera there.
We're going to start up on the mountain, Ryan, and here's the situation. This is over Gatlinburg, okay? So let me put this into perspective here. If you've been to over Gatlinburg, over here is where the tubing run is. So we got a web camera right on top of over Gatlinburg. There's where the tubing runs are. This is a lift that goes up, and there's a light over here where some ski lifts are. Look at the glow on the horizon. If you can see that, that's all orange. So on the other side of the ridge from over Gatlinburg, there's a fire, and it appears to be right there as well, right up on the ridge tops. I'm not sure exactly which way it's going, but over Gatlinburg on Ski Mountain, hopefully those concerns are taken care of. It still looks like there's some sort of power, unless that's locked up. They may be out of power as well, but there's, you can see the burning on the horizon. So with nothing moving here, I can't verify the exact time of this. It says 9:52, so this may be as current as an image as we're going to get. But over Gatlinburg, there's some fires over the hills there, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. Ken mentioned this 118 degrees. I can see how that would happen. There's, you know, as far as the fires are concerned. If you're just checking in, we want to give you an update. First of all, this is the smoke plumes from the radar detecting smoke plumes. This is all rain coming in, mixing in with it, and it's not as heavy as we'd like to see, but this is not it. There's another band of rain coming our way as the evening progresses, but all of Sevier County should be getting some rain here in the next few minutes or so, and it extends all the way down Sevierville, Gatlinburg, Maryville, down to Monroe County. So this is steady. It's light, yes, but at least it's rain, and there's another batch of rain back to the west from us. And Ryan, you were talking earlier about Cott County, Sevier County, and Greene County all being out of school tomorrow. Cott County and Greene County don't have so much a big fire concern as they have just strong winds that have knocked down trees and power lines. There's been several reports of trees and power lines knocked down from non-thunderstorm winds and from not even the fires in those two counties. So that's another reason they're going to be out of school tomorrow, is because of the strong gusty winds. And as Ken's been showing you earlier, we expect the winds to eventually die down after the rain threat moves through, but we still got a few more hours of these strong gusty winds. So this is where we are now with the light rain. Knoxville, the rain ending here for now, but another batch of rain coming in from the west. And here's what we're talking about right here. This is the first batch of rain that's come through. Here's the second batch of rain. Hopefully it can hold together. Heaviest rains in the Southern Valley. You put this together, and there goes the first batch. Here comes the second batch. Hopefully this will hold together off the plateau. And isn't it interesting that we were thinking that this would hold off until, you know, 10, 11, 12. Luckily it got here a little bit earlier, and that can help the folks in Sevier County. It's not going to put out the fires, but it will dampen things and help the firefighters as they do their job. And then here comes the second band of rain. And the good thing about this is that tomorrow is going to be a day where we can dry out and hopefully see what's as far as the damage is concerned and get that taken care of, because we've got a beautiful day ahead of us for your Tuesday. Temperatures that are going to be very mild, but the rain early in the morning, you'll have some wet roads to deal with to start the day, and then that all moves through, and then we've got a sunshine-filled afternoon to help get people back on their feet and get some check and assess the damage from this. This is 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and then here come the clouds again. So there'll still be some burning fires, but tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, another round of good soaking rains are coming our direction. Talking about the wind gusts, these are the wind gusts at this hour. 48-mile-an-hour wind gust in Maryville. Air comes down the mountains and it accelerates, and that's where you get these 51 in Tellico Plains, 48, 43. Notice that right along the front range of the Smokies, and that's exactly where we have our high wind warning for the higher elevations and wind advisories for the lower elevations, where everybody's going to have those gusty winds. And like we saw a couple times on our Ripley's camera earlier, it just carries those embers when it gets elevated, and carries those embers along pretty rapidly. So we are expecting these strong gusty winds to continue. This is from 11 o'clock tonight through midnight, still over the higher elevations, 50, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Then we start at 2 o'clock to see them start to slightly weaken, and by the time we get to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, we should have things settled down considerably from where we're doing what we're doing tonight with these winds, and that should set the stage for a much more calm day tomorrow as well. So it's going to be a rough night for a lot of people over the next few hours, but we do have some hope in sight. If the rain's not in your way next, we've got another batch coming, and after that moves through, things will kind of settle down as we go toward the early morning hours. So Ryan, not much we can do about controlling the weather, but at least we've got some rain in here, and at least we've got some cooler temperatures and some situations over the next few days where the weather's going to improve and really help the forest fires and really help us as well as we see some higher humidity. Tomorrow will be a day of cleanup for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I just got an email here that the Cleveland, Tennessee Fire Department has a fire crew in Gatlinburg. You know, if I'm missing somebody who I haven't mentioned yet who is participating there, please let us know. So far, we've got Seymour, we've got Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, Knoxville Police Fire Department, and let's see, what did I just say? Cleveland here, and then Claiborne is also, I just got word, Claiborne is sending a truck and some personnel to help out. So again, a lot of people coming in from different areas in order to help fight this a wildfire that has really just taken off here because of the winds that we have seen. Let's take a look at some video we just got in from Charles Pine. This is him driving along the spur as they were leaving. This was actually the video I talked about early on, where you can see the fire come all the way up pretty close to the side of the road. And we had one other evacuee kind of talk to us saying that she saw something very similar to this, saying she could feel the heat. Look at how close that is to the roadway. This is what people are dealing with as they evacuate their homes, evacuate you know, their shops, restaurants, whatever, getting out of Gatlinburg. You see the danger. You see how hot it is leaving. Now on the phone is Kelly Rinke. She has actually been up in Gatlinburg. She has been up there. She has been dealing with the Forestry Service and the firefighters, and I am told that, Kelly, you are now kind of on the outside of things because certainly things have really escalated. And so, like everybody else, they're having everybody kind of get out of Gatlinburg.
Yeah, and Ryan, we actually had to get out of Gatlinburg because where we were hanging out at the Gatlinburg Fire Department, that is where we were getting any up. We actually had to evacuate that area. That's because the fire was so close that fire officials were telling us to get out immediately. So we were among some of those cars trying to get out of this area. We were on Highway 321 towards Cosby. That is the way they are telling people to drive out of this area. So we stopped along the side of the road. And if you could just see what I'm seeing right now, what you were kind of just talking about, seeing some of that fire close to some of these homes, it's kind of just become a spectacle for some people here. It's about a mile away from us right now, but some of the evacuees I was speaking to were telling me that they saw flames about half a mile away from their home. Just to let you know, if you are in some of these areas, there are certain places that you can go to that are evacuation centers. So the Gatlinburg Community Center is one. I was over there a little bit ago. They had some Red Cross officials there. They did tell me, though, that if needed, they are not going to have people stay the night there. They are actually going to ask people to go to Rocky Top Sports World, which is right next to Gatlinburg Community Center. They are also going to open up Pigeon Forge Community Center. Again, if you're trying to get out of this area, they are telling you to go to Highway 321 towards Cosby because the spur is closed. So that is the way that they're telling people to go. Be very careful when you're driving through this area. It is wet. It is dark. There are tree branches that have fallen onto the road, so you just be very mindful when you're trying to get out of this area. Fire officials a little bit ago were telling us that a majority of these multiple fires that they have responded to are caused by embers and down power lines. They did tell us that Governor Haslam has asked the National Guard to come and help with these fires. So that is the most recent update that we have been given. Again, such an effort, these firefighters trying to fight these fires, but of course this wind is not helping at all, and you can really feel it in your car. When we were driving out of this area, I mean, my car was shaking. Such a frightening sight for a lot of these people, and some people even said when they were having police officers bang on their doors telling them to get out of their home, they said they had less than 30 minutes to get out. Some people actually had to leave their pets inside because fire officials and police officers were telling them to get out of the area as quickly as possible. So, Ryan, I mean, such a scary situation, a lot of commotion, even really late at night, just people trying to get out of the area as quickly as possible. You know, Kelly, with you being up there and talking with the forestry and the firefighters and such, did you get a sense that they weren't expecting this, you know, a sense that they thought they had a better handle on it and just these winds just overcame certain situations? Well, they were definitely saying this fire is definitely unexpected just because they were kind of, again, they were saying, like, not the best terminology, but this is just perfect storm just because the winds were so strong because of the dry conditions there's so much fuel for this fire, and because of the changing wind patterns, I mean, there's past fires spark up everywhere. I was even talking to some homeowners who were saying that they were seeing fires so close to their homes, out less than half a mile, and they decided to evacuate themselves because they did not have any fire officials in their area telling them to get out. But because they were seeing fires so close, they just thought, well, I think to do. But again, definitely, I got the sense because of these weather patterns and because the winds keep changing, it's definitely a hard fire to fight, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the, in fact, we're taking a live look here of the evacuations. This is just outside where Kristen Farley is actually at, but you can see just a slow, steady of vehicles and people leaving the area in order just to get out of the Gatlinburg area. And you can see that they have received some rain. You see it a little on the camera lens there, and then you can look on the ground that they are getting some rain. But the other thing you notice is you take a look at those sheriff's deputies, and they all have face masks on. So, you know, the smoke is real thick up there, and of course it has ash in the air and everything that's basically, you know, unhealthy for you and such. So it is a bad situation. So anybody who's near the near the area, you know, it's not a bad idea to maybe head somewhere else, even if you're not told that you need to do it yet. I also got word here that Oak Ridge Fire Department, they have sent some firefighters up there to help in this wildfire as well. So again, a lot of different firefighters from all over the area to go up and help out the situation out there, because they are definitely in dire need of some help dealing with the elements that Kelly was talking about, just the worst possible situation you can think of for firefighters to fight a fire in. To get us a little more up to speed on how the weather is shaping up, let's send things over to meteorologist Ken Weathers. Ken?
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan. I want to take you back to earlier this afternoon, and on Storm Tracker 6, this was actually the smoke plume from the fires across the area. We had reports of smoke all the way up to the Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia border earlier. Now this is live, and you can see the rain has made its way in to the Gatlinburg, Sevierville areas. We showed you the video earlier. You can see the wet pavement there, which is great to see. This is some steady rainfall from Sevierville down through Gatlinburg, so it's kind of what we need across the area. The back edge, though, as you can see, already making its way through Knox County. So this first initial line coming through, not going to see a lot, but we'll take, again, whatever we can get. Good news is there is no lightning with this. This is not that kind of system moving through. Wanted to point this out as we pull back out. There's another line of rain making its way through Putnam County into Cumberland County right now on the plateau, and this will continue to slide eastward as well as we go through the night tonight. In fact, let's take a look on 6 timeline. From midnight tonight through 3 a.m., you'll see that second batch starting to move through. So you may see a brief lull in the activity as we approach midnight, 12:30 time frame right there in the Gatlinburg area, but more to come overnight. Then we start to dry things out after about sunrise first thing tomorrow, and really the rest of the day on Tuesday is going to be dry. We will see some sunshine. Winds will be about 10 to 15 miles per hour, maybe gusting to 20, so not as bad today, but still up enough out of the south-southwest that any fires that aren't contained could still be problematic. There was still a lot of fuel left with still some leaves on some of the area trees. Hopefully some of the rainfall, again, will take a little bit of that out of the area. Maybe won't be quite as bad. Again, this is 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. This is 6 o'clock. And again, we're not going to see a whole lot of rain after about sunrise tomorrow until we get to tomorrow night. Then we'll have another opportunity of some steadier, heavier rainfall that'll work its way through as we go overnight Tuesday into the Wednesday time frame. These are the current wind gusts. Maryville 48, Gatlinburg 43. Even here at our studios, we're at 19 miles per hour and winds gusts to 30 miles per hour. So as we've been saying, even with the showers moving through, we're still going to be seeing some gusty winds through the area. Let's focus right on into the Smokies. As you can see, from 10 o'clock tonight on through midnight, we're still going to be seeing those winds possibly gusting in that 40, 50 plus mile per hour range from Gatlinburg all the way up through Pittman Center. And you can see the arrows, they're pointing northward, which means the winds will be coming out of the south as they have been all day. That continues through 2 a.m. Winds still gusting over 40, and then by the time we get to 4 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock, the wind will start to relax across the area, which is good news. Want to show you quickly a 7-day forecast across the area so you can kind of get an idea of what we're talking about, the next opportunity for rain coming through. We're going to have a bit of a break, as we mentioned, as we go through Tuesday afternoon, but then as we go Tuesday night into Wednesday, another opportunity of scattered showers moving through, and some of that could be locally heavy. Believe it or not, we may have the possibility in some spots of seeing some isolated flooding because the rainfall potential could be in that 1 to 2, possibly even as high as 3-inch rainfall totals. We need it. We just not all at one time, but again, we will take it for sure. Things a little quieter as we head towards the weekend, and once again, as we go late Saturday into Sunday, another opportunity for some rain. So again, we'll have this rain come through this evening, a bit of a break as we go early tomorrow morning through most of the daylight hours on Tuesday, and then Ryan, will see those rain opportunities really ramp back up Tuesday night into Wednesday across the area.
All right, Ken, thank you very much. I'm also getting word other fire departments coming in all the way from Bristol, Tennessee. They're on their way down here to help out. Kingsport firefighters are already on the scene and trying to help with this fight as well. We've got some new video to share with you as well. One of our viewers sending it in to us. This is from Zach Jones. This is as he was evacuating Gatlinburg along the spur on the way out before the majority of it was closed. Again, they're kind of rerouting people through different directions now because of how dangerous the spur is. And clearly, as you see there, yeah, probably no surprise that they did close this off, because as close as it is there, well, this was from a little while ago, so it's only even closer now to the roadways. Again, from Zach Jones. Zach, thank you very much. Really appreciate the video and giving us an idea of what people are expecting. So we're going to send things out to Kristen Farley. You know, Kristen, the question I have with the rain and the smoke coming in together, is that just making things kind of just a gooey mess out there? Is it worse, or is it a little better when you breathe?
Well, right now where we're standing, the smoke is actually worse. I don't know if the rain as it continues to fall is going to help that at this point, but I'm going to back out of the way to show you this development here. We have some of the first responders out here on the scene who have now put on clean air masks. You see the gentleman there in the center who has one of those masks on. We've seen another gentleman a little bit further down. Not sure if you can see it in the darkness here, but it has gotten to the point where it is affecting people's breathing on the scene. We're seeing a lot more masks pop up. Also, another major development, what you're looking at is 416. The direction heading away from the camera is going towards Gatlinburg. The direction coming our way is coming out of Gatlinburg. We are now seeing traffic flowing a little bit more smoothly here. We've just been told that one of the big concerns earlier tonight was the number of power poles and tree limbs down across 416. That is why traffic was not moving so much here heading into the Gatlinburg area, obviously stopping people because of the fires as well. But now they're saying that the roadway has been cleared. They are letting some local traffic through, so that is providing some relief out here for people who want to get to their properties, who possibly want to check on pets or get some belongings before they end up in a permanent location tonight. But again, traffic along here moving smoothly. Again, back over here is Upper Middle Creek Road, and that is the area where earlier tonight, and very quickly, this long line of cars, probably several miles long, was quickly moved out of this area. All other traffic was halted because there were fires burning on either side of the road, just out of our eye shot, if you will, around the corner. But all of those cars have been moved, and now this roadway, there's no vehicles coming on either direction down Upper Middle Creek right now. We can still hear sirens in the background. We know the rain is helping a little bit to some degree as they're letting traffic move a little bit more freely in the area. But again, the smoke, Ryan, is still very, very, very heavy here in the air despite the rain that's falling.
All right, Kristen, thank you for the update there, and just want to update people at home as well for the kids when it comes to school tomorrow. Greene County schools, Cock County schools, and Sevier County schools, as of right now, those three counties do not have school tomorrow, and it's because of the wildfires and the smoke that the firefighters are dealing with up there. We'll, of course, let you know if that extends into an extra day or if any other counties are involved in this as well. Also, there are new evacuation shelters that have opened to accommodate for everybody exiting Gatlinburg. That is the Gatlinburg Community Center and also the Rocky Top Sports World that Kelly had brought up. Those two new places have opened as well. So 3 counties of schools with no school tomorrow: Sevier, Cocke, and Greene County. And then here are the other shelters that are open, and again added to the list is the Gatlinburg Community Center and the Rocky Top Sports World. So right now we're going to send things back over to our meteorologists who have been tracking both our air quality, the smoke, the weather out there, and of course what's been very detrimental in all of this is the gusts of wind. We'll send things over to Chief Meteorologist Matt Hinken there in the Storm Center. Matt, what do you got?
Thank you, Ryan. I wanted to clarify this from the folks at over at Gatlinburg. They've actually moved their camera, so it's a different perspective than we're used to seeing. It's now pointing down the mountain, across the parking lot, across the main parking lot, and into downtown Gatlinburg. But the power's been out for about an hour. When last time they had power was about 9:52, and you can see some fire on the horizon up here at the top. So folks at over at Gatlinburg, thank you for that information, and that ought to be a nice view once we get the camera and get the daylight to be able to see what's going on. But unfortunately, we have looks like clusters of fire over on the other side of the mountains. Hard to tell which way the fire is moving, but it's a mess across parts of Sevier County, obviously in the Gatlinburg area, most likely. Okay, let's put this into motion. We'll give you an idea for those of you that are just tuning in. We've been on the air for about the last hour and a half as these wildfires really broke out. And the big problem that we had now, obviously, not only the fires, but the wind that had been fanning them. This is now a look at the Ripley's Aquarium at the Smokies. We had a great vantage point of what was going on in Gatlinburg until the wind knocked this camera out. So this image is about an hour old, or maybe even longer. This is the front of Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies down here in the corner. And if you go behind Ripley's up that hill, there's a big hill, big mountain up behind Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies, and that's where those fires were about an hour ago. So that gives you a pretty good perspective that the hill outside Ripley's Aquarium has quite a significant fire on it, if it's still present. The other thing that we've seen improved here over the last little bit is that our Storm Tracker 6 is able to eject the plumes of smoke, but also rain coming through the area. Now, this rain is here now, and those of you in Sevier County especially, don't panic. This is not it. We've got some more behind it. But this is the plume of smoke. Here comes the rain. Very light rain now, but at least it's a steady rain, and it's moving off to the east, and it's raining where it needs to rain. Knox County is basically dry right now, but we have another band of rain coming back from the north and west, and this is the second batch of rain. So if you haven't had a good soaking rain, I know most everybody's had at least some rain. It hasn't been a whole lot. But anytime you get higher humidity, that slows the fire, the progression of the fire. There's the first batch of rain, down 75 a break, and here comes the second batch of rain on the plateau. It appears that second batch of rain is trying to weaken a little bit, but we want to hold it together down into the valley and over toward the mountains where we can get an additional rainfall. And then we'll talk about another batch of rain due in the area tomorrow night. But in the short term, this is where we can plan our forecast for the possibility of rain. Now, as we go through early tomorrow morning, still 3 o'clock, we're still seeing some rain. Most of the rain from Knoxville to the east. This would be 3 o'clock. This is 7 o'clock. Those counties that are being affected by these fires won't be in school tomorrow, but everybody else should be in good shape, and roads are going to be wet from overnight rain, and temperatures in the 50s. This is 7 o'clock Tuesday morning, so we're headed into your Tuesday morning. And then we go toward noontime. Now we're in the mid-60s, and we got a dry day, so there'll be a lot to clean up and examine some of the fires and do what you need to do to get cleaned up and everything figured out as far as what's going on tonight, because there's not much we can do in the under darkness except for just find shelter and pray, and hopefully they'll get through this pretty quick. Now, here comes another batch of clouds. This is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. That will roll in. It shouldn't have as strong of winds tomorrow night, but we are expecting some wind. So we're not going to say it's going to be calm, but the best chance for rain comes Tuesday night into early Wednesday, and that'll move on through. So 33 mile an hour wind gust to Maryville, 51 mile an hour wind gusts, 23 in Hartford. Wouldn't be surprised if the sensor got knocked out here with the wind gusts that are coming to our direction. And there's still some gusty winds up on the northwest edge of the plateau, but those will settle down. This is the main concern over the next, coming up on 11 o'clock, 2 or 3 hours. 2 or 3 hours of the gust of wind, and they should start to settle down just a little bit, and that's the good news there. So this will gradually settle down as we go into early tomorrow morning. This is 4 o'clock, and by the time you head out the door in the morning, hopefully the winds have settled down. So we're going to continue to monitor the situation and get you a complete update starting right now on WAT 6 on Your Side News at 11.
This is a WATE 6 on Your Side special report.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Ryan O'Donnell. We've got breaking news we have been following for the past 3 hours now here. Gatlinburg fire officials saying downtown Gatlinburg is being evacuated right now for wildfires. Officials urging people to exit using Highway 321. Pigeon Forge residents and guests located in the areas between traffic light 8 and the spur are under mandatory evacuation. We're going to send things right now over to WATE 6 on your side reporter Kelly Rinke with the latest. And Kelly, you can see the fires burning right behind you.
Ryan, this is really the first time that we're actually seeing flames, because when I got here to Gatlinburg earlier, it was just a blanket of smoke over this city. You could not see any flames, but now that it is night, you are definitely seeing that red glow. I'll just tell you a little bit about where we are. We're on Highway 321 right outside of Gatlinburg, past Pittman Center. We were on our way to Cosby. The reason is because where we were hanging out in Gatlinburg, we actually had to be evacuated. Some of those flames were starting to come very close to us. I'm hanging around this parking lot talking to some very concerned homeowners, having a lot of families come up to me asking me if they have any update on this fire. We've seen a lot of fire crews come through this neighborhood, and earlier today when I was speaking to some
Yep. All right, everybody. Well, we lost Kelly here. We're going to try to get her back here in a little bit so she can describe what she is seeing there. In the meantime, we keep getting some new video clips in from some of our viewers here talking about or showing us exactly what they're seeing here for these mandatory evacuations here. I also want to show this Park West Hotel, probably the most captivating Park Vista Hotel, sorry about that. Probably the most captivating video we have seen so well by Logan Baker. You can see the flames here burning on the outside of the hotel, and inside you see all the smoke that has filled that hotel, despite the fact that they probably had their windows and doors shut. There's just, because it's of how much fire is in and around that area, they are experiencing a ton of smoke. All right, we have this other video here from Adam Palemno, and he is showing us just the different layers of fire that are creeping around the area there in Gatlinburg. This is not just one area that's just kind of sweeping across the area, but you can see how it just has climbed the different hill spots and such. Now here's a picture of the Space Needle. This is right downtown Gatlinburg. You see the Space Needle there lit up in blue, and then up on that ridge there you see that fire line just creeping. That's how close it was when this picture was taken. Now, we're getting different reports about different hotels and buildings that have caught fire. Nothing yet has been confirmed with the pictures. Again, everybody was told to evacuate. Firefighters up there from several different counties and cities helping to put this thing out. First priority, I was told, is, of course, human life. So they're in there trying to get everybody out first before they go and they start trying to knock the majority of this fire down. Again, a lot of people kind of concerned because they're not hearing from family members and such. They're trying to check in with them on social media, through their telephones. We've seen power go in and out of the Gatlinburg area. So they're working on that as we try to bring you the latest from here in Knoxville. We're now going to send it over to WATE 6 on your side anchor Kristen Farley. She is with where a lot of the evacuees are coming out there. Hi, Kristen.
Hey, Ryan, you know, a lot has changed here in just the last 15 minutes. As I step out of the shot here, you can see at 416 and Upper Middle Creek Road, traffic flowing smoothly. There is no longer anyone directing traffic in this area. Again, a few moments ago, we had been told that one of the roads, 416, was going to be opened up because the concern over down power lines and tree limbs in the road had subsided, that the roadway had been cleared, and they were given the thumbs up to let people in and out of this area. I'm told that you can take this all the way down to 321 now, and it is not blocked. Of course, the wind's still very high in this area, so we do need to be careful of falling trees and debris in the area as well. Also, Upper Middle Creek Road, earlier this evening, they were quickly evacuating all of the vehicles that were lined up here, saying there was fire reported on both sides of the roadway. We are now seeing some traffic, very light, but some traffic coming out of that area as well. So hopefully that concern there has subsided. I am hearing from people not confirmed at this point that there is a fire close to the Dollywood area. I believe it was called McCarter Hollow in that area. Also reading from some pretty reliable sources on Facebook that there is a fire inching up the mountain closer to where the LeConte Lodge is. We had been told earlier the lodge itself was safe, but of course that is the only overnight lodging in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Historic buildings there from the early 1900s, so obviously a lot of people watching that with great concern tonight. The rain continuing to fall, a welcome sight here in the area, but the smoke, Ryan, really just as thick or possibly even thicker than the last time we spoke just a few minutes ago.
All right, Kristen, thank you very much. You know, keeping tabs on the rainfall, as you just saw with Kristen, what was on the camera lens and what she's experiencing, and of course the wind, which has been so detrimental to what's going on there in Gatlinburg. Chief Meteorologist Matt Hinken standing by in the Storm Center to give us an idea of what people can expect up in Gatlinburg.
Yeah, right now they've got rain. It's very beneficial rain. It's light to moderate. It's steady, but there is a break in the rain. You can see that all of Knox County is dry, so there's 2 waves of rain here. The first batch is over Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevierville. It wouldn't bother me if it got stuck right there, but it's going to keep moving. This dry area is going to move in, and then back here to the west where you see back toward Kingston, that's another leading edge of some precipitation we're going to keep an eye on. So I do expect most of this activity to continue to slide off to the east at about 30 miles an hour. So watch for increase in precipitation from the Kingston area down I-40 and into the Knox County area. We'll see it move toward Ford Community 1121. Lenore City High School had a couple reports of some small brush fires out by Lenore City, so we need to keep an eye on that. There could be some small ember fires that have developed across the area. Move that out of the way and you'll see where we're talking about. There's Lenore City High School there. St. John Newman 1128, Farragut 1133, 1135 into Boxwood Hills. That's just an increase in the precipitation coming our direction, so we'll look for that. Now there's another batch of rain still to come, and we would like this to hold together. It appears to be weakening just a little bit from Cookville to Jamestown to Crossville. All this rain is going to come across, hopefully hold together, and here comes the second wave of rain that should be coming down I-40 off the plateau down into the valley. Tendency to weaken just a little bit, but if we can get any rain out of this, it'd be great to get another soaker come through just like we're seeing right now. That's the scenario. So first batch of rain moves through, Knox County in the dry, Sevier County getting much needed rain, about ready to rain into Knox County again. That'll move over towards Sevier County and help with the wildfires. Won't totally put them out, but it will take care of at least adding some another arsenal to the weapons of fighting the fire. Now here's what we look for from midnight to early tomorrow morning. We see the showers move out, okay, and we dry it out during the daytime, so it'll be a good cleanup day tomorrow. Won't be real windy, should be sunny, should be dry, should be comfortable. As we find out what happened overnight tonight, this is lunchtime tomorrow. Everybody's dry and we're in the low to mid 60s and we've got plenty of sunshine. Our next rainmaker already starting to see the clouds back to the north and west of us. It has been so long since we've said, wow, there's rain in the forecast, let alone twice in 3 days, and that's what we're exactly going to see. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. Clouds increase, so tomorrow night another batch of rain. Now, what about the winds? That's been the big concern tonight. We've been seeing Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies camera that we have on the building down there got turned around. We were able to show some of these flying embers from these gusty winds. But look at this. Wind gust still, 11 o'clock, 51 miles an hour, 33 miles an hour. The sensor at the airport where we get the data from Sevier County, Gatlinburg, probably not working now, probably got knocked around a little bit, 23 in Hartford. We've also had some wind damage up in parts of Greene County, Cott County from straight line winds or some mountain wave winds that come down and knock over trees onto power lines and that sort of scenario. 31 mile an hour gust still in Crossville, 22 Jamestown, and 22 in Oneida. And here's what we expect the rest of the night. Now here's some good news. Still have got a few hours of strong gusty winds, but the time, this is a forecast product. This is telling us when the winds are going to gust and how far they'll gust or how strong. How about Pittman Center, 53 miles an hour? That's at midnight, so we're talking about a little less than an hour now. We'll probably see the higher elevations, see these strong gusty winds for a few more hours. This is 2 o'clock still, but we're starting to see a decrease in the wind intensity, and by 4 o'clock it should be back to kind of normal. We've got 30 over the higher elevations, but much less and much more gentle weather pattern setting up for tomorrow morning than what we've seen all afternoon. And then 6 a.m. we're out the door and we're in good shape. This is what it looked like in front of Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies before our camera got knocked out. This is the front of the aquarium where you see the area that you'll go into the aquarium and visit and greet friends. This hill, just a couple hours ago, was on fire. We don't have any additional information, but the hill behind Ripley's Aquarium, where it's got all kinds of beautiful condos, that was on fire. We'll have to see how that turns out. So that's the way we stand right now as far as our weather is concerned. We're going to have the winds strong for a few more hours, then they'll settle down. Another batch of rain to come. That'll move out. We've got a nice day to clean up tomorrow before our next chance for rain comes tomorrow night and into Wednesday as well. Ryan?
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Let's talk about some of the other areas that are under mandatory evacuations. We're just getting word Tellico Plains, under parts of Tellico Plains, under mandatory evacuations of Von Nor. Downtown Gatlinburg, as we've been talking about, areas along the spur, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Now, if you see embers and smell smoke, it's best just to leave. That is the message we're getting from all emergency personnel there. Now, if you need to shelter, these places are open. We've got where the LeConte Center, Pigeon Forge, the Pigeon Forge Community Center, Liberty Baptist Church in Wares Valley, Rocky Top Sports World, and the Gatlinburg Community Center. All of those places are available and have food, drinks, and a place for you to stay if you have been forced out of your home there in Gatlinburg or the Gatlinburg area. Now, we also want to talk about some of the schools that are closed tomorrow. So far, we have heard Sevier, Cocke County, Greene County, those three counties, all the schools are closed because of the wildfires. Now, we're going to go and talk to Dean Fleener. Dean Fleener. Dean, at some point tonight, I'm going to get that right for you. He is with TEMA tonight, and he joins us just to kind of fill us in on what's going on from the state's response to Gatlinburg. How you doing? Nice to talk to you again.
Hi, thank you. I appreciate you having me back on. The first thing I would like to do is remind everyone in Sevier County to please stay off of their mobile devices unless they're going to make an emergency call. We're seeing the mobile phone systems being severely taxed, and we're trying to get that kind of calmed down and settled down so it is open so that people can make emergency calls and that responders are able to coordinate through the mobile networks that they have. We're activated at the State Emergency Operations Center in Nashville. We have a number of state agencies and state partners who are coordinating resources that are either in the field in Sevier County or on their way to Sevier County. We've been working with the Fire Mutual Aid Network to bring in fire apparatus and fire trucks. We're working with the Tennessee Department of Transportation to help with clearing roads. Tennessee Highway Patrol is also helping with road closures, evacuations, traffic control. We've got the Tennessee Department of Health who is coordinating ambulance resources and medical teams from other parts of the state to come in and assist. So there's a lot of activity here in Nashville, a lot of us coordinating and doing what we need to do to be sure we're helping those on the ground protect lives and save property.
You know, Dean, one of the things that a lot of people run into is they don't want to leave their home. You know, this is their home, their memories and such, and they don't want to leave until truly the last second out there. In your experience, what do you tell people who just want to hang in there? We understand that. I mean, we understand that. What I would tell people is that, you know, you're not just putting your life in danger. You're putting the lives in danger of someone who might have to come to get you if you can't get out. So when you wait until the last minute, you might not be able to leave. And then someone, a first responder, somebody may have to come and get you, and it puts their life in danger as well. So we would just ask people to think about that also. And we certainly understand and are sympathetic to people who don't want to leave their homes. I know it's hard to see everything go up, but it's not worth your life. And it's not worth the life of somebody else who's trying to come and help you. Now, what should people expect when your crews come into town here?
Well, what we'll have is a lot of coordination with putting out the fires, the fire apparatus that will come in. There's also going to be assistance with clearing debris in the aftermath of this and clearing debris during, so that the fire apparatus can get to where they are going to need to be to put the fires out. You know, I'm looking at a big band of green rain on our map here, so I hope that there is some relief that comes in the form of rain tonight. I know there's another system coming in just a day or so, and hopefully that brings some more relief. But I know it's a very dangerous situation. We would just ask people to observe what local authorities tell them to do, take care of their lives, and if they're told to get out, they need to get out.
You know, Dean, over in East Tennessee here, you got a lot of people with big hearts who just want to come in and help out in any shape or form. And I'm sure you get a lot of emails, phone calls, questions about how can they help you out. Aside from the cell phone thing, is there anything that people can be doing at home or getting together, you know, water, something like that, just to help contribute to battling this wildfire?
Well, In the coming days after this, there will be a lot of resources and a lot of information put out about how people can help. Right now, we would just ask people that if you're not in a dangerous situation, just to hang tight and stay where you are, so you don't get in a dangerous situation yourself. If you're in an area that's been ordered to evacuate, please make plans to get out and evacuate. But especially if you're in a safe place, just stay there. And don't do anything.
All right, Dean, thank you very much. With TEMA here, a crew. Oh, real quick, Dean, any idea what time your crew's supposed to show up and start helping out?
I think there are some that are already there and others that are on their way. Yes,
All
sir.
Right. Fantastic. Well, we really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, Dean, thank you very much. And then, we're just getting word here that earlier tonight, 19 cabins at the Dollywood Smoky Mountain cabins have been evacuated. More people evacuated from the Dreammore Resort. And I believe Dollywood, let's see, fire crews are in the park, preventive measures to make sure. And then, fire crews are there at the park there to help out. So we're not just talking about one little area of downtown Gatlinburg. We're talking about a real monster area of Gatlinburg in and around the area. So we're going to send things over to meteorologist Ken Weathers. He's got an update here on what people can expect with the weather side of things, huh, Ken?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ryan. Again, we do have some rainfall in the area, which is great to see from Sevierville all the way down through the Gatlinburg area. What we're most likely seeing here, this is rain, probably mixed with some of the smoke from the fire. That's why it looks a little brighter here on the yellow side. We call the reflectivity of the radar showing up. But yes, we do have rain in the area. But again, notice the back edge of this already making its way through the western sections of Sevier County. But I want to pull back out and show you we're not done yet. As we've been saying, we have the first line that goes through. We have a narrow, dry band and then a second band of showers that will make its way through again as we go a little bit later tonight across the area. This is what it looks like by 4 o'clock in the morning. Back edge of the second line of rain is making its way through the Knoxville area. Still some rain, as you can see, from the Sevierville area all the way up into the higher elevations of the Smokies. We'll take this through 7 a.m. Still showing at least some scattered showers here, which is good. But the bulk of our Tuesday looks like it's going to be dry. We're going to see the sun start to peek back out across the area, and temperatures are going to warm up in the low 70s. And we're still going to see winds coming out of the south. They're going to be at that 10 to 20 mile per hour range, maybe some higher gusts, so not as windy as today, but we're still going to have some winds across the area as we go through the day on our Tuesday. Watch by 8 o'clock. Sun has set. Clouds are starting to roll back in. Then by this time tomorrow night, 11 o'clock, second round of rain starts to move through. This is going to be a little more significant rainfall-wise compared to what we're seeing across the area tonight. Notice this. Brighter reds showing up. Some heavier downpours of rain. This is 2 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. That continues all the way through Wednesday morning. This is 7 o'clock in the morning, and we're still showing at least some scattered showers across the area. Some of that rainfall quite heavy. About the only concern we would have with this, if we get too much rain too quickly, we could have it just run off, and it could cause some flooding. Or where we've seen some of the charred areas, you get the heavy rainfall on top of that, possibly seeing some mudslides. I don't know if we're going to quite get to that stage, but it's something we'll definitely have to keep an eye on. But again, it's nice to see the opportunities for rain returning again tomorrow night into Wednesday. So the bulk of our Tuesday, rather, is going to be dry. In fact, this kind of points it out for you. So overnight tonight, we have the scattered rain showers. We've been seeing the rain gust. Thankfully, we've not had much in the way of lightning, and I don't think we will. We have the lull in the rainfall through the day Tuesday, but by Tuesday evening past sunset through Wednesday, the possibility of that locally heavy rainfall. Maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but again, we're not expecting to see much with that. Here are the current wind gusts across the area. Still seeing 46 mile per hour wind gusts in the Sevierville area, 33 in Maryville. And again, these winds are quite brisk across the area. These are forecast wind gusts across the area. All right, 67 in the Smokies, 41 Pittman Center, 41 in Gatlinburg. And these winds stay brisk through the night tonight, as you can see. This is midnight tonight. We'll take you on into early tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. We're still seeing those winds gusting in the mountains and foothills, 30 to 40 miles per hour. It's not really until about 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock that we see the winds start to die down across the area. So something we're going to keep a very close eye on even through the night tonight, we have the possibility of those strong winds, Matt. So even with the rain moving through, which is great, we still have the possibility of seeing those real gusty winds.
Yeah, and those gusty winds have been real a menace because it's been transporting this fire. I wanted to show you this is a still picture before we lost our camera at Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. So what you're looking at here, friends, is that the camera sitting on top of Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. Here's the intersection as you come to Ripley's Aquarium and the main bridge, that Little Pigeon River going through there. Then you look up here on the hill and you can see this ring of fire. There's flames here and over here and all the way back. And if you notice from Ripley's Aquarium, you know that up on the hill that's all wooded areas with condos and sort of things. Pi Beta Phi Elementary School, and then the Park Vista Hotel way up on top of the hill out of the picture here. So we're going to put this into motion, see if we can get that going again. And I wanted to put this the last 8 hours so you could get an idea of what's going on. Look at this, just 8 hours worth of imagery, and notice the winds. Boy, they're very gusty. And then it looks like a snowstorm, which really is a smoke storm, because this storm, now I want you to watch up here, watch as it gets darker, and you'll start to see fires develop over the hills. You'll start to see some of those here in just a second. There you start to see them develop here. And right in the middle of your screen, pretty easy to pick one out once it starts going there. This is time-lapse imagery of 8 out. There you go, starting to see fires up on the hills right there, and back here and down. So yeah, that's behind Pi Beta Phi Elementary School up toward the Park Vista Hotel. And then look at that saved image right there where we had a lot of fire there. This was before the camera got knocked out by the wind on top of Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. And now I understand that behind the Ripley's Aquarium, that hill was on fire as well. So folks over there obviously know a little bit more than we can see, but that gives you a perspective of what's going on right now. Ryan?
Matt, thank you very much. Well, we've got some new reported videos in from people here leaving Gatlinburg. This is from Vicki Cowden, one of the many evacuees forced to leave that area there tonight because of the fires, sharing the video with us here. Understandably, as you drive by, look at how close that fire is to the roadway. One of the other evacuees we talked to on the phone says she could feel the heat just radiating from the sides of the mountains there, and of course as close as she was driving by. Again, Vicki saying the flames in the mountains there, horrible. That was from Vicki. We're also getting more reported videos here showing just how close these wildfires are getting to the cabins. Wow, look at this. We did have that same lady I talked to on the phone said that she did see 2 homes burn when she was leaving in a hurry Gatlinburg tonight. Now, State Representative Jason Zachary sharing this video here on Twitter of flames there. You can see from Airport Road by Sidney James Lodge. Wow, look at that. That again, unfortunately, that is from a while ago, so who knows what that looks like now. Well, Dr. Eric Littleton in Sevierville sending us this reported here video showing crews driving through Sevierville en route to Gatlinburg. We've been talking about this a lot, about all the different crews showing up from different parts of Tennessee, from as far away as Bristol to as close as Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. This happening just 15 minutes ago. We are now going to talk to David Ware. He's the mayor of Pigeon Forge. David, we talked to you earlier about how things were going, and it was pretty wild. I know that you have a lot of support with your crews in your city, with your sister city, just a little far away. How are things going right now?
Well, I think in the city of Pigeon Forge, we seem to be holding our own. That doesn't mean we're out of the woods by any means, but we are doing the best we can. We got a little bit of rain, which we are so thankful for. The wind is starting to kick up again, and that's what caused a lot of the problems today everywhere. We do want to pray for our sister city, Gatlinburg. I know that they, as well as all those agencies that are helping to respond to this, are spread thin tonight all the way up into the city of Pigeon Forge and Sevierville. So the fires are on the south end of our town, almost in a U shape around our parkway. We have issued a mandatory evacuation from red light number 8, which is Dollywood Lane, south to the spur, for anyone in a residence in that part of the town. And we please ask that those people heed that evacuation. The fire with the wind that is blowing the way it's blowing, the fire can come on quickly. Please heed that evacuation. If you are in a hardened structure or a sprinkled structure on the parkway, we feel that at this time you are safe to shelter there until you hear differently. But we believe that those buildings and the way the topography and the geography of Pigeon Forge, the way it lays, that you will be safe there until further notice.
Yeah.
But please heed the evacuation from red light number 8 Dollywood Lane south, and those are the areas of concern for our city.
Mayor, speaking of Dollywood Lane there, what can you tell us about Dollywood Dreammore Resort, and have you heard anything about the Dollywood Smoky Mountain cabins? I know that we got word that they were being evacuated. Any idea how close the fire truly is?
Yeah, there was fire there. I'm not saying that I don't know of any reports of structural damage or if any of the cabins were caught on fire. I'm sure that they were evacuated. That part of our area was it's just outside the city limits. The cabins are, and I know that the fire was coming that way earlier, and that's one of the areas that we were concerned with. Also close to the park itself, and there's been some fire assets deployed there to help with that. Have not heard any reports on Dreammore. I don't think that it has made its way there, although it is behind a couple ridges back on an area called Seton Springs, I know. But these are areas outside the city, and we have other agencies that are dealing with that. We're really just trying to focus on our borders and just outside.
You know, I can just assume how difficult this must be for you, because you want to go and help Gatlinburg, but at the same time, you can't release all your resources in case something were to start creeping upon your own city.
Absolutely, and that's why we call on folks like Oak Ridge and Alcoa, these other agencies that are so good to respond in a mutual aid circumstance, that come and help when we need them, and we certainly need them. I know Gatlinburg certainly needs them. Prayers for those people. They're going to have a long haul tonight, and probably into tomorrow, unless we can get some break in the weather, and maybe some good drenching rain would be great.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I know our meteorologists are keeping us up to date here on what's going to happen with the weather. Mayor, really appreciate the time again you're spending with us, and good luck. Our prayers, of course, out to everybody there. Speaking of our weather here, and hoping that we get another downpour of rain, we've been talking about the next kind of big storm to come through here. Send things back over to Chief Meteorologist Matt Hinken. And Matt, doesn't sound like it's going to come by anytime soon, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've got some rain. That's a little bit of a help. This is a view in Pigeon Forge, and you can see the roads are wet. What I want to do is back this up and show you the time-lapse imagery. You're going to see 2 or 3 things here. First of all, you're going to see some smoke come to the camera, and then we're going to see some rain come across the camera here. Let's see if we can get this going and see if it'll take off. All right. Hold on just a second. There you can see the wet roads. This is so here we go. This is giving us an idea in Pigeon Forge now as we look toward down the parkway. This is Wonderworks, and then you look all the way down toward Gatlinburg down here. What, see that plume of smoke? Smoke comes and smoke keeps on coming, and so it keeps on coming. You don't see much fire in the Pigeon Forge area looking back toward Gatlinburg, but you can see those plumes of smoke come through, and then all of a sudden, eventually, you get a little blessing. There's some fire right over the ridge. You can see that glowing over there. That's the kind of scenario just over the ridge, another fire, and then here comes some rain. So the rain comes through, wets everything down just a little bit, and then the rain stops, but the rain's coming again. So that's some good news. And you look at a current picture of Pigeon Forge, the roads are wet. So even any little bit of rain helps. As long as we get some of the foliage on the ground, a little damp, and the humidity goes up, that helps just a little bit. And this is from another view in front of Parkway in Pigeon Forge. The roads are wet. The winds are still there, but they're not nearly as strong as they were. And we hope that the winds will settle down after this next batch of rain comes through the area. So there's what it looks like in Pigeon Forge. Going this way is going toward I-40. Going that way is going toward Gatlinburg. Looks like things have, Pigeon Forge is in pretty good shape, except for the southern part of the county, or the city, as we heard from the folks just a minute ago. So there's the plume of smoke. Here comes the rain. The rain's moving out of the area now, but that's not it. Don't think that's it for the rain. That's this variable Smoky Stadium down to Gatlinburg. That's all moving through. Here comes the next batch of rain. Already starting to see some light rain just north of our studios here. Clinton, Anderson County picking up some light rain. That'll continue to move to the east, and then here's the perspective. We'll put it all into motion for you. So we have one batch of rain here that's gone through. The second batch of rain coming off the plateau. That's moving through the area, and here comes the last batch of rain still. Some pretty heavy stuff. This is 11:28, so we're going to hope that this steady rain holds together, comes off the plateau down into the valley, and just wouldn't it be nice to have a good soaking rain the rest of the night over parts of Sevier County. And everybody, as a matter of fact, that everybody's under the drought, but obviously they've got a worse situation than we do. So first thing tomorrow morning, things are dry. Roads may be a little bit wet from overnight fires, from overnight rain, but the fires are going to be battled with drier conditions as we go through tomorrow afternoon. This is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We're starting to see the clouds increase. So we're just talking about, Ken mentioned a little bit earlier, we've got a better chance for better soaking rains tomorrow night and into Wednesday. So this is what it looks like at 8 o'clock on Tuesday, and then we start to see the rain increase by 11 p.m. Tuesday, and then we'll expand that rain across the area. Wouldn't that be nice? This is about 2 o'clock on Wednesday morning. It'd be nice to have that rain all night long through at least 7 o'clock Wednesday morning, and we could see some more scattered showers as well. Now, what about the wind gusts? The good part of the afternoon and evening, we've been seeing wind gusts every time we show it, be 50, 55 miles an hour. Now we've got a sensor back in Sevierville showing 33. That's still pretty strong, but not as strong as it was earlier. 33 in Maryville, 31 in Crossville, so we've still got some gusty winds across the region. There's 23 up in Hartford, and parts of Greene County, Cott County have had mountain wave winds. They come down, and those of you that live in those communities know that they cause wind damage even with no thunderstorms around. So that's what's happened over there. That's why several schools are out in Cott County and Greene County, because of the winds that have already knocked down power lines and trees. So this is 10 o'clock tonight. Notice how, as we look at our forecast, we're still going to hold on to winds that are over 50 miles an hour. And then watch what happens overnight. This is 2 o'clock in the morning, still gusty winds, but by the time we get going to 4 o'clock, look how the winds have settled down a little bit. So that would help the firefighters as well. Get the rain in here, get the winds to settle down a little bit over the next few hours. They won't go calm, but at least they won't be nearly as nasty and violent as they were. And this is early in the morning, should see some light breezes. So we're in pretty good shape. Looking for the hour-by-hour forecast. Here it is, 65 by 6 o'clock and down to 56 tomorrow night. So damp roads to start the day, mostly sunny 4 o'clock, rain returning tomorrow night. And the 7-day forecast has that 90% chance of rain. Some of it could be heavy on Wednesday. It's an aware day again for us, 65 for the high, Thursday 53. And look at the temperatures. What's good about this is that we've got temperatures that are near normal, and we'll have enough humidity and enough moisture in the atmosphere to create some dew in the mornings or some frost. That will also help with the humidity levels fighting fires. Another chance for rain by next Sunday. So that's the way it stands right now. Hopefully the winds settle down, hopefully more rain, and hopefully we get these fires under control over the next few hours.
Oh, Matt, that's a lot of hopefullys right there. Thank you very much. All right, well, we do want to let everybody know that we're going to continue our coverage here past our newscast time here, just to let you know, keep you updated on what's going on with these mandatory evacuations out of Gatlinburg and the wildfires that continue to burn. So just to recap a little bit, some of the areas that are under mandatory evacuation: parts of Tellico Plains, Von Orr, downtown Gatlinburg, areas along the Spur, Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And this is even if you don't live in these areas and you smell the ember, you see the embers and you smell the smoke, it is best just to leave just in case. Also under an evacuation is the Dollywood Dreammore Resort, the Dollywood Smoky Mountain Cabins. In fact, if you go to our website at WATE.com, you see a picture of how close the flames are burning next to Dollywood Dreammore Resort. Now, if you do need to go to a shelter because you have evacuated from your home, there are places that are open here. The LeConte Center at Pigeon Forge Community Center, Liberty Baptist Church in Wares Valley, the Rocky Top Sports World, and Gatlinburg Community Center. They have water, they have food, they have a place for you to at least sit down if that's all you want to do and catch your breath from everything that's been going on. Schools that are closed tomorrow. We have 3 counties, at least as of right now. We have Sevier County, Cott County, and Greene County all closed due to these wildfires that the firefighters are dealing with. Now, we have just learned here that 19 cabins with Dollywood Smoky Mountain Cabins have been evacuated here, as I was mentioning before, along with Dollywood's Dreammore Resort. Now, we are told that crews are at the park at Dollywood right now to help protect it. No structures, we're being told, are on fire in the park, and we're also told that nobody has been hurt. But firefighters are there on standby in case the flames get closer. Now, we are getting some new reported videos in from some of our viewers. This is from first responders from all over Tennessee, as I mentioned, are responding to the massive wildfires there in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. This appears to be inside a fire truck on its way to Gatlinburg. This is Avoca firefighters, along with the crews from Kingsport, Piney Flats, and Greene County. In fact, this is also Bristol firefighters are on their way as well, all joining in the efforts to contain these flames. Here's another video we are seeing here. This is from Park Vista Hotel in Gatlinburg. Actually, no, this is a different view of a bunch of emergency responders. Oh, this is Park Vista Hotel here. We're going to see another video from Park Vista Hotel as well, but this one here is from Logan Baker. He's taken this from the lobby. Now, this is the one I was actually thinking about here at Park Vista Hotel. The incredible flames you can see from the outside. This is the only thing we have actually received yet from Park Vista Hotel. With the fire being that close, we have not been able to confirm if it actually reached the building, is on fire, or anything like that quite yet. So we're still checking to see what kind of news we can get. This is Adam Palminos sending us this video here. He's the sous chef there at the Park Vista Hotel. He posted this just a few hours ago. But here's another reported video from Gatlinburg along Reagan Drive. You see the different layers of fire burning there in the hills. This is 3 hours ago. Kelly Oglewolf showing us the flames here as she was evacuating, saying it was an extremely scary situation. No doubt about that. Well, this reported video here is from Nick McKinney showing us the flames in downtown Gatlinburg. The blue lines you see right there from the Space Needle. You can see the fire along the mountain ridge there, just right on the backside. See how close that is getting. And we've been telling you about how a number of surrounding agencies have been calling to help battle the wildfires. Sammy Solomon from the New Market Volunteer Fire Department sending us this photo from Ski Market. They're there helping out as well. This video is from Vicki Cowden, one of many evacuees forced to leave the Gatlinburg area tonight because of the fires. Now, as she drives along here, take a look at how close this fire is along the roadway. Understandably, a very scary situation here as she creeps along and more than likely feels that heat. We had another evacuee tell us that they could feel the heat as they were driving by the flames that close to the roadway there. Well, we're also getting some more reported videos just to kind of give you an idea of how close some of the fire is getting to buildings here. These are cabins and lodges here. State Representative Jason Zachary sharing this video on Twitter of the flames there that he could see from Airport Road by Sidney James Lodge. And then we have this one here from Dr. Eric Littleton in Sevierville sending us this reported video showing all the emergency responders there en route to Gatlinburg. Now, this one happening about 20 to 25 minutes ago. Again, just a steady stream of responders. Michelle Hanks is now joining us. She is from the Red Cross, and she's kind of been updating us on how things are changing, of course, for you guys especially. I know early on we were talking about, Michelle, the shelter that had opened in Gatlinburg. I've been assuming that it's closed because everything moved out of Gatlinburg. Is that correct?
Well, at this time, the only thing open in Gatlinburg for a shelter is Rocky Top Sports World. So, again, it all depends upon where things are, but most of them are in the Pigeon Forge area.
So how are things going from what you have been able to see with response and with people reacting to the fire?
Well, I am seeing some panic, and so I would really encourage people to stay calm, listen to the instructions from the authorities who say evacuate, do follow all the instructions. Grab what is necessary to you, like your medications, and head towards an evacuation center. Be calm and be ready to know that these evacuation centers are going to be very bare bones at the very beginning, but they're a safe place to be and to hang on and to be kind to each other.
What are you recommending to people who might want to be hanging around their home a little longer than they probably should be right now?
I can't make anyone's personal choice for them, but I always think that if the emergency management agency says and the fire department say you need to get out, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's a very good point there. If people want to help out, Michelle, what's the best way?
Well, at this point, if you are home and safe, stay there. And we have gotten a lot of people who want to go out and they want to come out and help. Right now, unless you are a trained shelter worker through the Red Cross or our partner agencies, this isn't the time. There's a lot, as you've been showing, you've got a lot of emergency vehicles who are trying to get to where they need to go. The roads are getting slick from the rain, and we want to keep everybody safe. So at this time, if you are safe, stay that way. You
know, Michelle, I've received a couple of emails and such from people worried about their pets and maybe worried about some family members that they can't get a hold of and such. Is going to a Red Cross shelter the best place for them to go and report that they've got a concern?
That is, the shelters right now are working with the clients, so they're not going to have much time to work outside of working with the hundreds of people who are coming in for shelter.
Okay.
One of the ways with pets, if they have pets, bring them right now. Pets can't come into a shelter legally because of allergies and safety issues. But this isn't the time to worry about, oh gosh, I'm going to stay home because of my pets. Bring them. We will figure out something. It's all about being safe right now. If you cannot find a loved one, 911 is really a better call than the Red Cross because we are not first responders. But we want to make sure that you're not calling 911 and filling up their lines as well. So there has to be a very, very careful balance. One thing you can do through social media, there's a lot of the posting they're safe and well. There's the Red Cross safeandwell.org program that they can go online and say, hey, it's me, and let your family members know as well. So it's really about staying calm and using your communication skills.
What if people have a lot of stuff with them, things like that? I mean, is that welcome in the shelters?
There's not going to be much space in the shelters for a lot of stuff. So if you're coming in and you have your car, leave a lot of it in your car. But in the shelter, it's going to be full of a lot of people, so you're going to want to be very willing to share and learn and meet new people.
You know, you bring up it is going to be kind of a tight space. Is this a place where people should show up first before maybe getting a place to stay the night at? Or, is this kind of more just a temporary, just relax, have some water, and find another place type shelter?
It may be both.
Yeah.
Evacuation shelters are very bare bones. We're trying to first get people safe. Eventually, as people find out, they can either go back home or it's going to thin out, but then they may and very well become your full-blown shelters with more space, with more resources available. We're really following this minute by minute, hour by hour, and we're going to respond to it as quickly as we possibly can.
That's kind of the situation right now. Michelle, thank you very much. Really appreciate you joining us tonight. Good luck out there. Yeah. Well, here's a picture we're seeing from the Arrowmont School of Arts and Craft. Executive Director Billy May posting this picture online. Oh man, that looks like two buildings there, unfortunately, on fire here. This is, he says, the fire approaching from the hillside above the campus. This is actually our first look at some structures on fire. We've had a couple people talk about them, but this is the first real look at two buildings. We are being told that all Arrowmont personnel is safe tonight. Two dorms are gone. These are the dorm rooms there, or dorm buildings. And the Red Barn was surrounded by fire when he evacuated, is what he was telling us. So it looks like maybe 3 structures in the end here, at least that he's thinking of. We do have some more pictures here from him as well. You can see that fire line just kind of creeping up along that side there, and you see more of the cabins, how close they're getting there to the dorms. Wow, those are some pretty crazy pictures of what's going on up there. Yeah. So our first glimpse there of some major damage to at least 3 buildings. All right, right now we're going to check in on how the weather is shaping up here and send things over to meteorologist. We're going to go to Chief Meteorologist Matt Hinken right now.
Yeah, we'll get to Ken here in just a second. I wanted to show you this picture from Look Rock Mountain. The camera up there is a static image, but this is over the tops of the mountains where it's very dark. But look at the glow off in the horizon. That's in another round of fires out there. So hopefully that won't expand by any stretch of the imagination. 9:03 this evening. We've had fires all day long, but 9:03 this evening is when it officially took effect. The immediate broadcast requested. This is the actual statement from the Sevier County Emergency Management Agency at 9:03. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Sevier County Emergency Management Agency. Been here 27 years, never seen anything like this. The city of Gatlinburg and nearby communities are being evacuated due to wildfires. This was at 9:03, okay? Nobody is allowed into the city at this time. If you are currently in Gatlinburg and are able to evacuate, evacuate immediately and follow any instructions from emergency officials. If you are not instructed to evacuate, please stay off the roads. And that's been what a lot of folks have been dealing with the last 2 or 3 hours. So a statement like that doesn't come out very often. Hopefully we don't have to see it again, but we will see some improvements on the way. Showers that have fallen in the Pigeon Forge area have soaked the ground at Pigeon Forge. The other thing that's obviously separate of the fires is that we haven't had rain in a long time, and a lot of the roads, I know it may seem kind of not really important right now, but it's really important because oil and leaves that get wet on the road, you put the brakes on, it's just like on a sheet of ice sometimes. So remember that when you're going to be out on the roads tonight and first thing in the morning, and also when we get rain again tomorrow night across the board. Those of you in Tellico Plains and Von Orr, we haven't forgotten about you. We don't have a whole lot of pictures from there, but we understand we've heard of many reports from Ryan about evacuations is there, so we consider you just as important as the folks in Sevier County as well. We do have some plumes of smoke. This is the radar imagery from the last few hours. Here comes the first batch of rain. That's the rain that has already fallen in Sevier County and continues to move out. But see the radar now starting to pick up on the plumes of smoke already? Yeah, behind the rain. That first batch of rain came through. Watch the first batch of rain come through. That soaks the area, but then you can still pick up that plume of smoke still going. So that indicates the area is wet, but it's not enough to put the fire out. Dry in Knox County. Here comes the second batch of rain that's going to come our way, and we can hope this holds steady and holds true and brings a little bit more soaking rains to the area overnight. This is the movement of it as it comes off the plateau. So a good soaking rain in Crossville right now, some gusty winds up there where that red is. And this is I-40 coming off the plateau down into the valley, and eventually in an hour or so should be back over into Sevier County and hopefully bringing you good soaking rain. We are expecting it to be dry during the day tomorrow, so any cleanup and any of those things that have to be done after a night like this should have good weather to do that. We're in the mid-30s for the afternoon, and then we start to bring the clouds in. And here comes the second batch of rain. This is for 11 o'clock tomorrow night, so this is about 24 hours from now. Another soaking rain coming into the area for Tuesday night into Wednesday, and hopefully we'll get a good soaker as far as that's concerned. Now, many of you have had non-fire related wind damage to your communities and your areas. We've had wind gusts at the top of the 28 now at Sevierville, 33 in Maryville, 18 here at our studios. So the winds have settled down quite a bit compared to what it was earlier. Still some gusty winds over the mountains, and things are going to improve as far as that's concerned. This is our latest forecast now as we take you through overnight into tomorrow morning. Notice the timeline going across here. By early tomorrow morning, we expect those winds to be settled down so the cleanup can begin and can be done in earnest tomorrow morning, starting with dry conditions as well. But we've had several reports of wind damage, non-fire related wind damage, and non-thunderstorm related wind damage. Meteorologist Ken Weather's back with us on Storm Tracker, and you've got some interesting features there to show us.
Yeah, Matt, we have seen the winds that have been pretty gusty, you know, across the area throughout the afternoon today. We've got a couple of storm reports that have come in from the Weather Service here. And basically, if you look, the ones right through here, these are going to be wind damage reports, non-thunderstorm. Trees down in the Maryville area, that was right around 10 o'clock this evening. Also a report of some gustier winds earlier. This was near the Sevierville area earlier, and we saw winds gusting at 56 miles per hour, pretty close to the Sevierville area from a weather station there earlier. And of course, report of a fire. That's what this is right through here. We talked about that, the wildfire that was spreading pretty rapidly across the area due to the high winds led to the evacuations in the surrounding areas. That was earlier. Wind gusts as well in Greene County. We get these a lot, these types of situations, especially over towards Cedar Creek, also up 60-mile-per-hour wind gust there in Nolichucky area there. That was just about 8 o'clock this evening. So we've had this really across much of the area throughout much of the afternoon and into the evening hours. And this is what we talked about. Rain opportunities will stay with us as we go overnight. Now, the threat for lightning being produced with some of these storms pretty low. You may hear a rumble of thunder, but we're not expecting widespread lightning with this, which is good. Just the opportunities for rain, but they will start to taper off pretty quickly, as Matt mentioned, early tomorrow morning. And then most of tomorrow afternoon will be dry. Sun will start to peak out as well, and the winds will start to pick back up out of the south, 10 to maybe as high as 20 miles per hour. So not as windy as today, but we will still have some gusty winds throughout the day. Better opportunity of steadier, heavier rain overnight Tuesday into Wednesday across the area. We'll have more details coming up in just a few minutes, Ryan.
All right, Ken, thank you very much. Now, we just saw a video picture confirming 3 structures on fire here, but we just got some latest news here from the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency here, TEMA, giving us some latest information as we take a look at some of the video up in Gatlinburg. They're telling us currently 30 structures are on fire in Gatlinburg. 30 structures are on fire, including a 16-story hotel on Reagan Drive and the Driftwood Apartments reportedly fully involved near the Park Vista Hotel. Evacuations are underway for downtown Gatlinburg, also Minot Park, Park Vista, and Ski Mounty in Gatlinburg, and for the south part of Pigeon Forge close to Sevierville. Now, the wildfire is also at the edge of the Dollywood property. And we got a picture of how close that fire is to Dollywood's resort as well on our website at wate.com. That right there you're taking a look at is the Space Needle with how close the fire is on the ridge there in downtown Gatlinburg. We're going to continue to, of course, monitor this wildfire here burning in Gatlinburg. I do want to thank everybody for joining us here, and we will continue to monitor it and push and give you any kind of new information, of course, on our website, wate.com. If you don't have our news app, you should download it now. We will continue to push any kind of new news that we get in through our app. And, of course, we're going to have the latest information on TV here starting at 4:30 in the morning on Good Morning Tennessee. So, folks, thanks for joining us here, and we'll see you back here at 4:30 in the morning. Good night.